Join us in the chat room. Join us in the chat room. You see us talking here, that's for the talk, 'cause now we're planning ahead for the streets. Mike in the night room. Oh, Mike in the night room. We like this. We like this.
Ooh, it's Mike in the night. Tuned into an amazing episode of Mike in the Night tonight. Woo!
Mike in the Night live stream. Mike in the Night. Mike in the Night. What is it you want from me? And do they steal our dreams so
easily? We could try. Oh, yeah. That's from our boy Ralphie there. Intro song for Mike in the Night there for KiwiRadio.nz. Ralphie. All right, guys. Welcome to November 24th, 2025. It is episode 626 of Mike in the Night. I welcome you all to episode 626, and I bid you all good morning, good evening, and good night, wherever you may be watching this transmission. Whether you're watching us from your condo in the sky, or your camper, or cabin in the woods, or relaxing on your lazy boy, people of the night, welcome to Mike in the Night. It is 3 a.m. somewhere, and something is moving you, and you're tuned into our show. And I want to thank everyone for being part of the channel, liking, subscribing, and picking up your boy a coffee from time to time. It's good, guys. It's really good to be here. And man, do I have a bombshell of a show for you guys tonight. Someone's messaging me what episode. It is season 33, episode 9. We're going into winter in a few days. In a couple of weeks, we're heading to the winter season. We're still in fall season here in the Northern Hemisphere. So we are on season 33, episode 9 of Mike in the Night. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it has been that long. And we're having our usual suspects show up in the comments here. And we got Dino Bravo, we got Sandy, we got Luna J. Parker. We're getting all our Sandy Klein. We're getting all our usual suspects here. Yeah, let's go. It's Mike in the Night. Let me take these damn shades off so I can see what the hell it is I'm doing with you guys here tonight, because we got lots of doing here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And I am going to open, everyone hopefully got their email. Yes, Anna Key is saying, hey, Mike and everyone, I love your new intro song. That's by Ralphie at KiwiRadio.nz. Let's go over to a channel plug, and we're going to get into, man, do we have a bombshell of a show? Bombshell! It's raining bombs, and it's raining bombs in a good way because we were right. All you callers, all you people, all the people that have been supporting the show, all the people that have been calling in and reporting what they're seeing, you were right about everything. We were right. This small minority here, less than 1% of the population, actually knew how it was going down. right? Actually understand how it's going down. So anyways, we got, oh man, the comments are moving nicely here, really quick in the show here. We technically are scheduled to start in 2 minutes, or 3 minutes from now, but I want to get the intro song and the plug out of the way, and then hopefully people will start raining in. All right, guys, MikeMartinsTax.com, MikeMartinsTax.com, how it spells. If you have any tax issues, please go there and check it out and fill out this questionnaire here and see if there's anything that this, what's his name, Kevin could do for you. And if you want to buy Mike a coffee, there it is right there. I'll put a link in the live chat there. If you want to buy your boy a coffee, you go ahead and buy your boy a coffee. You do that. If you want to do that, you go ahead. And we got, you could join the YouTube channel for a 99-cent club, $3 club, and the $15 club. And KiwiRadio.nz. Don't forget to check out KiwiRadio.nz. You can find, sometimes you can find MP3 format shows of Mike in the Night on here. You could find MP3 format shows where they're MP3 formatted, so you don't have to listen to it or listen to it on YouTube or anything where the bandwidth is going to eat up. And we got Facebook, guys. I keep bringing up the Facebook because we are blowing up still on Facebook. Every other platform we are crashing ever since we came back from Portugal. We were on fire in Portugal because it's a different IP. And no, an IP masker is not going to work. I've tried it before. It doesn't work. So when I was in a different country, a different IP, let me tell you, folks. Oh, there it is. We are live right there. And videos, look at that, 94 shares, 31 comments. I posted this a few hours ago. I don't get this much traction back in the day. I never got this much traction. Well, people are starting to listen now, or people are starting to pay attention now. And don't forget to check out all of Mike in the Night. If you guys want to check out all of Mike in the Night here, episodes of all of Mike in the Night, MikeInTheNight.org, MikeInTheNight.org, MikeInTheNight.org takes you to past episodes, and that's the number one question I get asked. And here is some, this was episode 522.
All of that, but thank God I wasn't hassled at any point, anywhere, any motels or anything like that around whether I'd been jabbed or not. So none of that seems to have gone by the by completely. You know, completely off the radar. People are stopping doing pretty much everything. They're stopping the sanitation, sanitizing their hands. Even though that stuff's around, it's not being accessed. People aren't using it anymore. They're not, going into a supermarket and freaking out because somebody's 2 inches too close to them. That
was Anna Key from Australia. That was episode 522 if you guys want to catch it. And 515, look at this. Now in their 30th week, thousands strong protests rage against Israel cabinet policies. What is this, folks? What is this? 36 weeks straight, they were protesting no confidence in government, Netanyahu out, Prime Minister out. And we were covering it. Look, Israel protests 30th week straight, Bibi out. And it's kind of funny, 6 weeks after these protests were going on for 36 weeks, Hamas invaded. And I told you guys you're getting played because you're getting played by... Hamas got played, everyone got played, the whole world got played, the whole world got divided. And now in their 30th week, and we've been covering this since day one. This is since day one. Now in their 30th week, thousands strong protests rage on against Israeli cabinet policies. 30th week straight, we were covering this on the first day it launched on Mike in the Night. The first day we were given word on this protest from people in Israel were telling us to report on this. This is a big deal. And the Prime Minister in jail. And it's on its 30th week, folks. Can you believe that? So this is before the Hamas attacks, ladies and gentlemen. Protesting. They want Netanyahu out, the Prime Minister. And this is episode 515 of Mike in the Night, if you guys want to catch it. 515, we're already... The warning signs were going up that something was going to go down because Netanyahu, Bibi, or whatever you want to call him, does not want to go to jail. And he'll start a war to not go to jail. And that's what we were warning everybody about. It's just, look at this, 469.
The county we're in is kind of like the county I was in up in New York. We were outside of Rochester, New York, in between Rochester and Syracuse. So everybody who wanted to get out of the city would move, to one of the two counties in between. So we wind up here in the county. If I open up the little local newspaper, which is the same newspaper. I think he's got 5 of them.
So there's 469 Mike of the Night. You can find all the episodes at mikeofthenight.org, where you can find all our older work. And what's going to happen in the future? I'll tell you what's going to happen. There's going to be something more powerful than AI that's going to come up. It's going to go through everything we did within a second. And it's going to start pointing out who was on first. Who was there first warning? Who was getting banned everywhere? Who was not getting paid to tell you the truth? Who was getting paid? People, a lot of people, and we're going to go into tonight, people getting paid to tell you what you already know. I know, it sounds really weird, but we'll get to that tonight. All right, okay, what else is happening here tonight? Well, that's a channel plug right there, out of the way. So, Junkyard Dog, guys, we have to rally him in the comments if that's okay. Junkyard Dog, Instagram apparently got hacked, and he doesn't have Instagram anymore. And we need Junkyard Dog to call into the show. There's a lot of people that don't want to get Instagram, so we can't have him on the show. Instagram audio with the show balances out as nicely as possible, and I have 147,000 followers on Instagram, so it's easy to reach out to people, or it's easy to get people onto the show. It's just straightforward. You know what I'm saying? It's straightforward. But a lot of people refuse to get Instagram, so there's a couple of people that we won't be getting back on the show because they just don't want to get Instagram. So I'm really sorry about that. Somebody's asking where Ricky Spanish is. I actually spoke to him, I don't know, like a few days ago on email. We throw emails back and forth, right, with us. So, take a sip of water there before we get to tonight's show. So, Junkyard Dog is telling us that he was in jail and he got arrested. So, yeah, Junkyard Dog, yeah, get your Instagram working, please. There's a billion people that have Instagram. Get your Instagram working and send me a message to Real Mike Martins, please. Apparently, he got moved out of the Oshawa hospital, and he got treated very badly. So it'd be nice to get him to come on the show and tell us what's going on. So get Instagram. Get what the enemy's feeding you. Use their technology against them. Why do you think we used Skype for years? That was Bill Gates' Skype. Why do you think we're using the enemy's technology to infiltrate them? That's what we're doing. Oh, they're recording you on there. They're recording you everywhere you go, I say. Everywhere you go, they're recording you. So you're scared of being... They're recording you with your phone 10 feet away from you, listening to your conversations. Yeah. All right. Chat's lighting up here tonight on Mike in the Night. It's a Monday night, guys. And we do Monday nights purposefully, so we're not competing with the real channels. And we're going to get up the real channels here. We got some real channels here we need to talk about. But in big news... So, boys and ladies and gentlemen, we got some big news for you guys tonight. And like I said at the beginning of the show, we were right. We were always right. What the heck am I talking about? Well, here it is, folks. I made it short. I'm going to comment on it in a second. So the CDC, the same CDC that's been preaching vaccines do not cause autism for over 2 decades, just quietly updated their website and basically said, well, actually, that wasn't an evidence-based claim. Oh, really? Now you tell us. They admit the science never ruled it out. They admit the claim wasn't based on evidence. They even admit, it's up on the CD, you can see the website, they even admit they said it anyway to prevent vaccine hesitancy. Translation. They told you a conclusion they wanted, not what the data showed, but what Big Pharma wanted. And the craziest part, they straight up say studies suggesting a link were ignored by health authorities. Ignored. Not disproven, not debunked, ignored. Just like I was reading my son's vaccine card for him to go to grade school and high school, all the vaccines he has to take. Back in 2017. And for years, anyone who asked questions was smeared. deplatformed, fired, or labeled a conspiracy theorist, when all people wanted was transparency. That's it. Just honesty, but no. They gaslit parents, they silenced doctors, and treated any skepticism like a crime. Now they quietly update the webpage on a random Tuesday like it's no big deal. No apology, no accountability, no, hey, maybe we shouldn't have misled millions of parents. Just, oh, by the way, our previous claim wasn't based on evidence, move along. Remember our video from 2014, how we were telling you guys that the Obamas never vaccinated their own kids? This is exactly why trust in institutions is dead. Muerto. Está muerto. This is why parents should be questioning everything, and this is why they say follow the science or trust the science doesn't work. Because we're finding out the science was being managed, filtered, and politically curated to steer public behavior and to thicken the wallets of politicians and investors. We had 97 videos taken down linking autism to vaccines. And governments passed a law. Remember back in 2015, we made the video, you can't sue vaccine companies. Remember our 2013 theory that we had? Back in 2013, we made a video about back in the 80s in grade school, and you have a gymnasium full of kids, you wouldn't find a single kid on the spectrum. Remember our 2017 live stream? They will infuse mRNA in our vaccines by 2020. Mike Martin's here. I have spoken. So there it is right there in the short I made today. I was very, very, very upset. And I had the CDC article here for you guys to take a look at here. The article is right here. Had it open a second ago for you guys. Here it is again. And everything I'm telling you is right here on their website. And, I mean, you go check it out before it gets taken down or they realize they've gone too far. But there it is right there. They're admitting to it. I guess they have to admit to it. I guess they have to at some time. The truth always manages or finds a way to surface. And there's our 2018 live stream we did that we had to put back up because it got taken down for medical misinformation. And this is me going over my vaccine card that my son has at his school. And if he wants to continue being educated, he has to take 20, 30 vaccines. So we were warning you guys about this years ago and the dangers of this. Lightly get a doctor's note or something, because if they are planning on putting this in all vaccines, this mRNA, right? mRNA genosequence technology in my children. No, I don't think so. I'm not going to stand for this. I'm not going to deal with this. It's not fair, and I don't think this is this goes against a lot of, this goes against our. But see how they use this. You see how they use this against us? Do you see how they use this against my kids? Well, if he wants to go to high school, he's going to need these shots. I'm looking at the card. I'm like, that's like 23 vaccines. That's like 30 vaccines. And then now they want to put gene editing sequencing in this garbage? So I wanted to update you guys. Hey, Carol. Yeah, thanks for the live stream. So there it is right there, folks. We were right. Yes, where's my soundboard? Where is my... And ladies and gentlemen, that goes back to the 2013 video we made about the gymnasium at school. If you went to school in the 80s, 70s, and 80s, and you went down to the gymnasium for some sort of school assembly, and the whole school was there, you wouldn't find one damn person on the spectrum there. You wouldn't find anyone out there that's out of line, anyone that's speaking, or anyone freaking out, or anyone going nuts, because they weren't being mandatorily injected by all this crap. And that's what's happening, folks. I just wish a lot of us were taken serious. And that's why I keep talking about to you guys, people that are pre-2020, that were warning people about this years before 2020, were the ones that had it bad. We were the ones that were really, really ridiculed and kicked to the side and really, really beat up badly. And back in the day, they would even look at some of our social media posts and say, well, you're a nut job. Why would I give you a job? Or why would it? So we were really kind of outcasted, right? And after 2020, U.S. aid came in, and we'll talk about that in the show right now, about U.S. aid and how U.S. aid was funding social media influencers after 2020 to tell you what you already know. It's so weird, but it's starting to frack. It's starting to break apart. It's crumbling fast. And government accountability is through the roof. Canada's going to double, quadruple, and Australia too is going to double, quadruple Trump rhetoric. Trump racist, Trump this, Trump farted, Trump sneezed, Trump, and not looking into their own backyards. They're going to keep pushing it up. As the CDC starts acknowledging and saying, hey, the CDC... Well, what does Canada have to do with the CDC, Mike? It has nothing to do with... Yeah, because Canada was following it during the pandemic. Fine-tooth comb, everything. Fauci was on there every day in Canada. Oh, look at the Americans. Look at the CDC. Look what they're saying. Now, we don't look at what they say anymore because now the truth is starting to surface. And this is the problem, where it's this war of information that we're in. All right, people are starting to join us now. Thanks for joining us, guys, on Mike of the Night. We got Big Rob, New Zealand. And Junkyard Dogs in the house, very vocal tonight. Mimo saying, we're doomed. Yeah, that's exactly. And, yeah, Bill Gates is, yeah, we did the whole climate change thing too. Climate change. It's really sad that a lot, like where I live, everyone believes in climate change and global warming and whatever. They believe everything that their media tells them here. And it's very, 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 very scary stuff. Okay. This is very important, guys. I told you this is a big show tonight. We got a big show for you tonight, and this is very important. This is coming out of Portuguese America, Brazil. This is really important because we read the tea leaves on this one to a T. We read the tea leaves on this to a T. Watch this. Brazil hauls Jair Bolsonaro to prison days after final decision on a 27-year sentence. Who is this guy? Well, this man here was the Donald Trump of Brazil. He's the guy that tried to bring the sanity, try to make things work, budget the system, put people in jail that should be in jail. And his last running, well, he ran for president. He lost because it was fixed. Well, you're just saying that now because he lost, and you're saying now No. I'm not telling you it now because he lost. I'm telling you I was telling you 3 months before they went to the elections. Brazil election will be fixed in 3 months. Lula will steal the election. And in that video, I'm actually showing you guys how before that election, how they're already telling you here in the Portuguese news here in Brazil, how basically electronic, when it comes to electronics like this, electronic, how your votes are safer electronically than ballots, and how electronic. So I was going through that, explaining to you guys and breaking down. There he is there on a motorcycle riding openly. This is not a wanted man. He's not a man. But here's the thing. Lula, the guy he ran against, was a criminal, went to jail. But he won the election. And then we started doing a heart census in Brazil after this election, and people were reporting to me. It's like, oh, Mike, we went to 1,000 people. Only 2 people voted for the guy that won. Everybody voted for Bolsonaro. So there it is. There he is on a motorcycle. There he is hanging out with people. And there it is. We were covering this, and we told you it was going to be fixed. And Brazil, enormously worried about U.S. forces off Venezuela, Lula. So this is the president of Brazil now that obviously was put into place because nobody voted for this guy. And he's worried about Venezuela. So if you watched our videos, he would have saw that the next move was going to be Venezuela. We predicted before anyone else that Venezuela's the next move, and we even made a video showing you guys where to go here. Step by step, what will happen with Venezuela and the U.S. war 2025-2026. I actually did a step by step, and here's my prediction video before they even before even Venezuela was on the chopping block. Venezuela is the next war, China versus US. This is where the next proxy war must take place. So I was pretending if I was a dictator, an evil man, what would I do? Venezuela is the best place to go next. And this is during the height of the war with Israel. I was already telling you guys, Venezuela is next. And there's the prediction video there. There's my step-by-step what will happen with Venezuela and the US 2020. Step-by-step. There's the video, step-by-step, right here. 790 or 800 shares or something on Facebook alone. About this whole, our prediction, Venezuela is going to be the next move. It's going to be the next proxy war. It's going to be the next escalation. It's going to be the next distraction. And that is something that I basically worded it where this is going to happen. Now, I took pen to paper and I actually typed out in a draft email here. I just drafted out an email typing out what's going to happen with Venezuela. And this is very important if you're living in the Americas, especially in the northern and southern hemisphere in the Americas. This is an interesting one. And I think they're going to play it to the end. So let's look at this headline here and then we'll go into my prediction. So here's the headline right here. Venezuela boasts troop deployment in response to U.S. threats. So this is my step-by-step video you could find on how it's going to break down. The first video was made 6-8 months before this one, telling you that Venezuela is next. And people were asking me, well, what's going to happen now? You were right. What now? Well, and then I break it down in 8 steps. What will happen with Venezuela? And I even think it's written out. Transcript. Oh, there's no write out of it. But it's in the video there. You guys can see it. And over in Brazil too, since Lula took office, Brazilian judge orders global deletion of X posts in civil defamation cases, rejects geo-blocking as insufficient. So what's happening is they're just going to be deleting accounts in Brazil if you go against their election. And Brazil uses child safety as a cover for online digital ID search. And that's what they're doing down in Portuguese America. They're doing this purposefully because they need to track every single soul in that country. And anyone that goes against absolutely anything about whether it's vaccine or whether it's election results, or you question the results and you start getting people together in rooms and saying, none of us voted for the guy that won. Who voted for this guy? Then once you get a thing going online, share this if you voted for Bolsonaro. You'll probably get 5, 6, 17 million shares across Brazil saying, we all voted for him, so why did he lose, right? So we were already putting this together, and that's how it's playing out. Now, Venezuela is going to be an interesting little tidbit for the future to watch out for. All right, who do we got? I'm talking way too much here. I want to read some of your comments here. Dino Bravo saying Lula is a Satanist, 100%. That guy, again, he has a criminal record, and he was charged, and he's a criminal. And he was the one that was selected to be put as president of Brazil. And Dino Bravo saying, yeah, nobody voted for Lula. Brazil, if you run against the cartel, we take you to court. Yeah, they take you to court. Yeah, Chuck your dog. Chuck your dog. Yes, somebody saying that some voting machines in Brazil did not allow you to vote for Bolsonaro. 100%. 100%. It's all bullshit. And we're telling you guys for so many years, this is all bullshit. They're lying to you. All right, let's rock and roll. All right, now another bombshell. Man, tonight's raining bombs tonight, man. We go into the whole thing of the CBDC there with the CDC with vaccines, and we were right about that. And we have so many videos taken. You know what? I had videos taken down. Watch, I even have a list of videos. The Vaccine Damage Diaries, 50 Families Speak Out, video we made, deleted in 2018. You won't believe what's in the childhood shot schedule, deleted 2019. Vax kids and unvax kids, school nurses testimony, deleted in 2018. We did so many videos for you guys. about this, warning you guys. I got stuff like here for 2011, 2012. Why are so many young boys developing autism? 2012 video that was taken down for date deleted November 2012. Medical misinformation, harmful content that was taken down. So we were all over the place. All over the place, man. But yeah. And it's really good that you guys are showing up for tonight's show. And yeah, we got over 100, technically 100 people across a couple of the platforms here tonight, guys. Thanks.
It's Christmas time. There's always a lot of burglaries around the holidays. So we're just checking the neighborhood to see if everyone's taking the proper precautions. That's all.
Oh, yeah. All right, let's rock and roll again. Okay. So, you remember, guys, like how all these people after 2020 just started showing up out of nowhere and telling you what you already know? And for the longest time, we're banging our head against the wall figuring out, who are these influencers? Where do they come from? They have no background. They've never been on social media until after 2020. And they're allowed to tell us what we already know. And they don't get deleted. Well, what's happening? Well, it was USAID, folks. Department of Justice tries to block Musk deposition in lawsuit over USAID cuts. What is USAID? Well, USAID was funding influencers across the Commonwealth. And we got the numbers here tonight. So we got the numbers here. So these people came and they're selling mugs, t-shirts, they're making a fortune. And all these channels now in Australia, New Zealand, the UK, Canada, and in the United States, they're all saying, well, my channel's getting terminated, I'm being deleted, I'm losing subscribers, they're removing subscribers, they're not removing nothing. Everything that was built off these people was all paid views, was all, because I got the email. They asked me to join them, and they were going to pay me per episode. I was going to be the Joe Rogan of Canada. And I said, know what? No, I'm not selling out. I don't need the money. I'd rather starve to death homeless on the streets than take their money. And I read the emails to you guys in videos. They offered me everything. They offered me the world. But I said no. Now, there's all these YouTubers, Facebook, all these influencers saying, oh, I'm losing subscribers, I'm this, I'm that. It's because the USAID got cut off. And it looks like they're not growing. We don't grow because we're shadow banned. We're still at the same... We don't move. We've been here 15 years and we don't move. But let me tell you, 7,001 Canadian influencers paid by USAID. 7,001 influencers. But you're going to say, well, my influencer's been on YouTube for 10 years, Mike. They were doing tool videos, rock climbing videos, camping videos. After 2020, look at the timeline, switch over. Money arrives. 7,001 Canadian influencers paid. 3,122 Australian influencers paid. New Zealand influencers paid 2,144. UK influencers paid 8,211. That is basically 20,000 content creators, journalists, podcasts, TikTok personalities, YouTubers, fact checkers, micro-influencers across the Commonwealth in the sphere, Xers, all kinds of people with their hands in the same pocket. And people think USAID is an international development. Wrong. USAID is one of the largest soft power instruments the U.S. government has. It funds media partnerships. It supports civil society messaging. It bankrolls information and stability programs. And it pays influencers to push narratives. Right? A lot of influencers were pushed to push Pierre Poilievre. Pierre Poilievre in Canada. They were pushed. But Pierre Poilievre is conservative. Why would they push that? They were pushing that, and they were pushing the anti-Trudeau legislation, all the stuff Trudeau was doing. They were paid to push that, to divide us even further, right? Even though every political party is on the same team. So there it is right there, and there's USAID right there from the American people, and this is what USAID is basically media partnerships and civil society messaging it works on. And then here it is. Bono, Poser, USAID, Game Over, USAID Exposer. exposure, controlled information distribution. So we were trying to figure out how the hell did these people come out of nowhere, and what does Bono have to do with it? Well, Bono threatens Trump to bring back U.S. aid, or there will be trouble, or there will be trouble. U.S. aid is controlled information distribution. I've been trying to figure out for years, banging my head on the wall. Why are these people that nobody knows all of a sudden becoming celebrities? And we were telling you guys this years ago. Now it's U.S. aid. Now Bono wants U.S. aid to come back because these influencers are dropping off because they're not getting paid anymore. Now, Canadian numbers, you don't have to believe me when I say this, 7,001 Canadian influencers, 7,001 are receiving U.S. aid in Canada. And this was a May 31st, 2025 video that we did on Odyssey to let you guys know all these people that showed up all of a sudden. They're there for the money, folks. A majority of them, I'm not saying all, but a majority of them are there. They're just there for the money. They're there for a paycheck. We never took it. I could die in peace knowing I've never sold you guys out. I've never lied to you. I have no reason. I don't get paid to lie to you. So I've been 100% transparent with you guys since day one. And I love you guys. Oh, got a little bit of gas here tonight. This is really big, guys. Tonight is huge. All right, let's see who else. Okay, let's see what we got here. Thank you, Mike Martins. Love you too, buddy. Says Jen Dove. And then we got Joe saying, I didn't know USAID Canadian influencers. Yes, 7,001 of them. 7,001. And now you know how you find them, Joe? Go to the YouTube channel with a channel with so many subscribers. Go to their oldest video. And if it's after 2020 and they're talking about stuff that you already know, it's like, wow, these guys are getting paid to tell us what we already know. Yeah. But I say it 5 years ago, I get banned. Shit, I made a video in 2022, 2023 showing these people have the same titles I do, and they took down my video. Our titles match from mine's 5 years old, and then theirs is 5 years newer, but they're allowed to say it, and they take me down. And I made a video showing you guys how they take me down, and they took that video down. That's how bullshit this is. Someone says the poor person is the honest person. That's right. So we got Nick in the house. What's up, buddy? Someone just shared this to X. Thank you. I'm still banned on X for my How Hamas Got Played video. I was the only guy talking about the 36 weeks straight in Israel protest, not my Prime Minister Netanyahu out. I was the only man that was following that for 36 weeks, showing you footage on the streets. And when we connected the dots and how Netanyahu should have gone to jail and prosecuted, and how Hamas got played, the whole world got played. Everybody in the world got played. And same thing with the stupid, what was that war there? The Russia war. We told you guys that Ukraine was poking Russia, provoking a war. We had guests on Mike in the Night back in before 2020, 2017, 2018, with guests on the show. A lady was crying saying, you don't have to, I take accountability for my words. The Ukrainian government is bombing and destroying facilities in Ukraine purposefully to start a war with Russia. And here we are, folks. That's right. X is not the greatest freedom platform. It's not made out to be. No, Joe, X is pay to play. If you want to pay to promote yourself on there, you can. X is pay to play. Yes, BB ordered a 6-hour stand down. We cover that too. It's in the video, How Hamas Got Played. Watch the How Hamas Got Played video. I'm not going to replay it for you guys here tonight because we got lots to cover. But watch How Hamas Got Played on my channel. You'll see what I'm talking about. We covered that step by step and the buildup of the protests and everything that basically led to this. the murder of tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of people in the Middle East got murdered, killed because of this garbage. Because if one guy doesn't want to go to jail. Okay, let's all right, guys. I don't want to swear. I don't want to swear on tonight's show, but it's so hard. It is Mike in the Night. Okay, everyone's watching this show is probably over 35 years old anyway. But I try not to swear. Like, I try to be as PG as possible. And what we got here, let's put up the email, guys. Guys, I added 2 people to our email list. If you don't want to miss an episode of Mike in the Nights, join our email. It's me, MikeMartins1980@gmail.com. I don't have a staff, or it doesn't go through some bullshit, some bullshit screening. That goes right to me. MikeMartins1980@gmail.com. Go ahead and send me, just tell me, hey man, add me to the mail list, and I'll make sure when I go live, wherever I go live, when I go live, I will send you guys out an email. I will send you guys out an email and let you guys know when I go live. All right. Woo! It's Mike in the Nights.
Where's your fucking balls?
Okay, we got Joe Pesci here tonight. Just use Fangulo, Mike. Yeah.
And what the fuck are you doing on TV anyhow?
That's what he's doing on TV anyhow. Like, speaking. All right, let's.
And what the fuck are you doing on TV anyhow?
Oh yeah, what's on TV? Who's on TV? It's that Carney guy again. The Prime Minister of Canada, Mark Carney, says, who cares about talking to Trump as tariffs hit Canadian workers? Now, we told you this guy was going to come in. We told you in November of 2022 that this man is going to be your next Prime Minister. He facilitated the Chinese money laundering from 2010 into Canada with the Chinese model, laundering trillions of dollars, and then went to the Bank of England and did the same thing. The video's up from November 2022, and we did follow-up videos on how this guy will become your next Prime Minister, because he has to become to continue the damage that he's doing, that Canada's damage, that Trudeau didn't finish. And we told you it was all going to be fixed and rigged. And I still remember, a man named Mark Carney will be your next Prime Minister. I looked into Mark Carney. He's a banker, not a politician. Unsob. I'm always going to bring that up. I'm sorry. Unsob. There we go. And here we are now. And here's Mark Carney. We don't need U.S. anymore. PM Carney uses the G20 stage to urge planetary unity and emerging world government. This guy's pushing for a world government. And that's what he's doing. He's pushing for a world government, and he's putting up this triangular sign everywhere he goes. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney used the G20 stage in Johannesburg to call for a new world order defined by global government that excludes the United States and counterbalances America's influence in the world. If America doesn't need... I was in America this past March break. I drove up the coast all the way from Washington all the way down to San Francisco, San Jose. There's industry. There's small business. They're not taxed to death like we are here in Canada. It was clean. There was no graffiti. It was, oh, California, San Francisco, oh, poop everywhere. There was nothing. It was spotless. It was business as usual. And I mean industry everywhere. Cheese, milk, metal, like everything you could think of, fishing. It was massive, and oil, everything. And I made my videos. America does not need Canada for anything. If America purchased anything from Canada, it was because they were being nice and wanted to give a little bit of money over to Canada. Canada does not. America does not need Canada's electricity because they have overabundance. They don't need their coal because they could just get their own coal if they really wanted to. And there's multiple places that are not being developed, which they could develop. And if they needed potash, there's lots of potash mines in America they could get like this overnight and create 20, 30,000 jobs overnight. So this Carney guy is not speaking for all Canadians. He's not speaking for me because nobody voted for this guy. But again, this guy got selected. This guy, and we told you he was going to be selected. We told you. And there he is with Macron. Macron's not going anywhere. Go back to our 2016 live stream. Macron is going to be there forever, folks. Now let's keep going. And Canada's tap HELOC debt. So their debt, they're using their homes as ATM machines at the fastest rate since 2012. So Canadians were competing with Chinese money laundering. So they would get into a property, and when the property accrued a little bit of equity, they would use that to buy food. Now, as of March 2024, the Chinese money laundering has stopped. And now what's happening is property prices aren't going up. So Canadians don't have that equity to use to buy food anymore because they were using their equity in their homes. So HELOC debt. And what did we tell you guys? What did we tell you guys? Right here. 8 years, 9 months ago. Homes are new ATM machines. People borrowing too much. People are housebroke using equity in their homes as ATM machines to get basic necessities. They're already buying it to buy their mayonnaise and their bag of chips. And to buy whatever they're buying to eat. They were using their house as basic necessities. Housing ATM machine, massive default ahead, people taking on too much debt. Rate hike destruction as Canadians borrowed another $1 billion against their homes as ATM machines as their homes 7 years ago. And ladies and gentlemen, this is why they had to pull the trigger on a pandemic. We were in a financial mess. And they had to figure, the governments were in a financial mess. Canadians were over leveraged. They borrowed too much money. And look at the situation they're in. And what are they trying to do? Censor us about this. Buried in the budget is Canada's quiet turn towards digital identity. And 493-page budget hit a larger project that could turn a convenience into a new form of control. And this goes into the 2025 federal budget. And it goes into modernize legislative authorities to support information sharing and digital services. And this goes into multiple bills that are processed to basically censor and shut down Canadians. We're already being censored because here is a video we posted. I'm going to replay this because it's important to you guys, for you guys to see. Watch this. Doing the same thing repetitively and trying to get a different result, or trying to get a different result, is complete lunacy. Well, I've been doing the same thing for 15 years. 6,000 videos later, trying to get the message out to you. But the message somewhat got out in Portugal. Take a good look at this, folks. This is the graph here. And guys, by the way, I don't make money on social media. A lot of people are like, oh, he's just on here for clicks and clickbait. No. I get on the plane right here. I'm in Portugal. I pass 4.4 million views. Never happened. I get back on the plane to come back to Canada, and it's 0. This is controlled information distribution, and I've been telling you about this for years on my channel. I have a whole playlist dedicated to controlled information distribution. Why is this happening? Because it's supposed to. I believe for many years now, for over 10 years, 15 years, that Canada and social media companies have been working hand in hand to censor us. To censor the ones that must be censored and not allowed to speak. Now, you had U.S. aid. U.S. aid came out, and we were wondering, why are all these influencers coming out of nowhere? All this big following. No one's heard of them before. But they came after 2020 to tell you what you already know. That's proof right there, guys, that Canada has a force field, a shield over its content creators to keep us censored. Because God forbid people outside of Canada realize that, wow, Canada's housing market is so expensive. It's not because their economy is booming and people are making a lot of money. It's because of the 2.2 to 2.6 trillion Chinese laundered money that came in since 2010 to 2024 March. Once people realize, whoa, and the fentanyl coming in, and it's pissing off the Americans south of the border. Holy crap. We thought Canada was booming, thriving, this and that. We're taxed to death here. Taxed to death. Woo! Lots of good, I got lots of good content. I think after I pass away, People are going to start digging through what I was saying or what I was trying to tell people. And it's the truth, right? And this has been happening here in Canada, the little Canada news here. Another Pakistani International Airlines crew member vanishes in Toronto. So Pakistan Airlines, they're coming to Canada, usually coming to Canada one way. They come one way full, and then they go back to Pakistan empty. So crew members are now just vanishing in Canada when they arrive. It's very strange. We should call Unsolved Mysteries right now and get this on Unsolved Mysteries. And let's not forget Canada's privacy watchdog not consulted on Bill C8, enabling secret internet and phone shutdowns. So they can shut down your phone whenever they feel like in Canada, and internet shutdowns, and suspend you. Legislation will suspend you through Bill C8, and we discussed Bill C8 with Eduardo a couple of times here on Mike of the Night. Canada's in a lot of trouble, folks, man. They're in a lot of trouble. They should be hand in hand with the Americans working together. But no, Canada loves China. Canada loves the fentanyl. Canada loves the destruction and the oppression of its people. Canada loves taxing its people to death. Canada loves $1 million, $2 million, $3 million houses that are worth 40 grand in Florida. Like, you can't make this stuff up. And this is what we've been trying to do on this mission for the last 15 years, folks. Pole shift is real. Magnetism. Yeah, I think the pole's been shifting for, yeah. Burnwick saying you are speaking the truth, Mike. And, yeah, TikTok is really bad. Guys, I got 4 suspensions on TikTok in 2 weeks. I finally reached 10,000 followers, and then they just shut me down again. My first TikTok got up to 80,000 or 70,000, and then they shut that down. It took me 6 months, fast to grow on TikTok. Fast on TikTok. So we need Junkyard Dog to please create an Instagram. Guys, can you rally him in the comments to create an Instagram account? If you can, please. I need Junkyard Dog to call into the show and tell us what the hell is going on. Because apparently he got arrested and he went to the hospital, and then he got escorted out of the city, like John Rambo did when he went to go look for a friend. And all right, what do we got here? We got some more. We got some more news here. I'd like to get some callers on the show if it's possible. If anybody's out there, just message me in the general chat. If you haven't been on in a while, message me. And if we can't, it's not a big deal. We can continue this next week, right? We've been at this for... Mike of the Night is on season 33, episode 9. So it's been a long time, folks. We should have already generated open lines and callers to call in freely. And yeah. Someone's saying in the TikTok is worse than Facebook, if that's possible, which it is. It is. It's terrible. TikTok, you say anything that goes against Chinese money laundering or how China destroyed your country, and your government in Canada, Australia, they'll kill you to protect the Chinese. They'll kill you to protect the Chinese. You Europeans, you come build the bank. You build the bank. And then they get the Chinaman to work in your bank. We're going to bring in Chinaman to work in your bank. Well, what about our kids? We built this building. Let our kids apply for the jobs if they qualify. No. Chinaman's coming to work in your bank. You're Canadian, no good. Canadian only build building. That's how Canada is. That's what Canada's about. And I know Australia's like that too. They build the infrastructure to bring in other people. Right? All right, who else is here? All right. Just checking across the platforms and see what we just passed 233 people viewing across all platforms. That's really good. And all right, guys, let's see if we can get callers into the show. If anybody wants to call into Mike of the Night, add me on Real Mike Martins on Instagram, Real Mike Martins. You'll find me there. I think I have 45,000 followers, whatever it is. You guys could more than welcome to check me out if you'd like to. Just sending out a little woo there on another platform. Just sending out a little woo there on another Oh, I'm getting reverb from another show. Guys, remember, I don't have a staff here. I'm here alone. I've been here alone for years. I don't have a staff to check emails. I don't have anything to help me with audio. That's why we have tons of audio problems on this show, because I don't have an engineer to help me set it up. Pretty. Oh, we got Blackjack Romano calling in. Hello? I don't have anything to help me with audio. That's why we have tons of audio. Lower the show, buddy. Don't follow the show when you call in. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, don't follow the show when you call in. You got to call in separate.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. How you doing, buddy? Oh, he hung up on me. Okay, guys, you have to lower the audio. It's like 2 minutes behind. It's lagging 2 minutes behind. Turn off the show when you call in to me, because you're not going to be watching the show and answering me. It doesn't, yeah. Okay, well, we lost that caller. I don't think he understood what I was trying to ask him. All right, let's see if we can get him back here. Let's see if he picks up here. Woo! It's Mike of the Night. You have to lower the...
Okay.
All right, you there?
Yes, I had the show turned off, so
Perfect.
I thought you wanted to hang up.
Yeah, you can go back and watch the replay and see how you did. So it's Blackjack Romano, ladies and gentlemen. We haven't had him on the show in a few months, and he came on the show. No, in a few weeks. 4 or 5 weeks ago, he came in. He was really pissed off. He was really angry. And tell us how you doing and what's going on, buddy.
Yeah, just going through. Unfortunately, I got an ear infection, so I just been out of commission for about the past 2 weeks. So I was in and out of the hospital, got my ear drained. So just I'm improving health-wise, but work-wise, I've been keeping up to date on everything. Unfortunately, the status of it's getting worse. A lot of people are getting laid off, both professional and unskilled workers. So a lot of people are giving up the homes. So a lot of for sale signs. I noticed that when I was traveling to the hospital. A lot of people are losing their jobs. They're going homeless, basically living out of the cars or the storage units. I know one particular condo unit, literally 20 units went up to sale in the past week. And I talked to the real estate agent near the hospital that I was attending.
Interesting. So you were around, because so you could vouch for me too. When I say you were around in 2010, 2011, 2012 during the whole Vancouver model with the Chinese money laundering rolling into Canada, you were seeing these houses going $1 million, $2 million over asking.
Yes.
And now here we are. We're completely fucked. We're fucked.
And people who still don't have money and they're not lowering the prices. So people can afford and purchase the stock there. So unfortunately, a lot of real estate agents or people inside the industries are artificially propping up that prices so they can pay off that the foreign investors, the Chinamen.
It's too high. You're not gonna. Why would you, like, the average person living in Florida would look at the house here that goes for $2-3 million in Vancouver, and you can say, I could buy the same house that was built after World War I in Miami in this area here, kind of similar to Vancouver, for $70,000. Like, and people are like, $70,000, Mike, that's in a ghetto. Well, the house you're buying in Canada is like a ghetto house. What you're paying $2 million for.
And it's not even worth living. There's probably a maximum of 5 years left on the building before you got to reconstruct it. And a lot of that land in Vancouver, they're being having a land assembly, so they're turning into mini condos, apartments. I know in was the colony area of Vancouver, they already did that in certain sections near that secondary school there. The people who know that area, they just started to do that, the land assembly there, turning a lot of the area into mini condo apartments.
They're taking freehold houses, buying 6, 7 of them, and then building apartments on them.
Yes.
And
So that's
so what about the green people? The green are the water and the sewer and the electricity and the power. What? But you know what? To be fair, no one lives in these places. Most of them are just empty. They're empty shells owned by foreign investors.
Yes. And I always wonder where they get the money from, the foreign investors.
Again, it's money laundering from China, so it's dirty money they've got to get out of China. So they can't really use that money in China because it's illegal. But Canada, with the Vancouver model in 2010, just said, bring in. Did you see my orange bags video about the banks counting money in a hotel?
Yes, the illegal banking operations.
Yeah.
Or they do it right inside the casino in the basement.
No, I'm talking about hotels. They were using the 4th floor of a hotel to count money that was coming in on the plane. They come up with suitcases full of money from China. Right
in the Richmond area, right beside the airport. If you go to the hotels, do that, and right at the River Rock Casino.
Mm-hmm.
I know that for a fact because I did a few shifts there at the River Rock. I saw that happen. They just came right off the airport, right into the River Rock, and they counted right in the basement. I was right there.
Yep. And they count billions and billions of dollars. And this is why Canadians can't. And now our government is so hell-bent to kill us to protect the Chinese.
Yeah.
And now there's rumors going around that the Chinese were involved now with Canadian government. The China and the Canadian government were working to bring in migrants from India.
That's why they want that another snap election in the Christmas time, winter time, or early spring next year. Within a year, we already had their election because they want to deepen further the connection federally, the Liberal Party and CCP.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, because Mark Carney, the current Prime Minister, he's heavily invested or has heavily ties with the mainland China government, with the rest of his team. So that's why they want to strengthen that ties, have it with another election to make it a strong majority. Then eventually have a takeover where have a one-party system.
Yeah, and Canada is if you go on Canadian media, no one's bringing up the whole vaccine thing that I brought up, that the CDC on Tuesday updated the website to say, well, yeah, vaccines do cause autism, this linked, so yeah, sorry about that. In Canada, they're not gonna report this in Canada. You know that, right? They're just gonna tell you that Donald Trump's a racist.
Oh yeah, I read that on the website. What it is they hit it very well in the long information section where people get distracted. But it is up on the website. I even saw on the website, but it's just a one sentence. They're very tricky on that one, but they did admit it on the website, but they did not, like you said, CID, controlled information distribution.
Right.
They did not publish it publicly or widespread as they should have.
Well, here we are now, 2025. It's coming down. It is coming down. Now, people can't afford to eat anymore because now the equity in their homes is gone. So the equity is no longer going up because the Chinese money laundering stopped in March 2024. So the money laundering stopped in March 2024. No more money laundering coming in from China. So now people's homes are going up in value. So they're not using their homes as ATM machines. Now they can't buy food. Woo!
Yes, I did look into the working poor in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Literally the ones who are still employed, receiving a minimum of 30 hours per week. Statistically, 55% of them are going to the food banks.
Yes.
Because they can't, beyond paying their rent or mortgage, utilities, they have no money for food, so they're visiting the food banks. 55% confirmed on a regular basis, where they go regularly, not just like once in a blue moon, but every month regularly.
Some of them go
55%.
weekly. Some people go weekly.
Yes.
Like in
So
my little two-stoplight town, ever since they started paying wage subsidy for Indian workers in my town, the food bank lineup goes around the whole building for people to buy food because they're not being employed anymore because they're hiring Indian migrants that are government subsidized through our taxes.
And the ones ones who come directly from India, that recent generation, the last 20, 30 years, who are under the age of 30, all they know is how to take. But the ones who are born and raised here, their mindset is different. They don't do that. The people directly from India, the mindset is the government will always provide something to them. So they'll scam anyway to do something for free.
Mhm.
They keep the $5 in their pocket. But the
Yeah.
ones who are born and raised here, who are the same ethnic background, their mentality is different because they were raised differently. They're
Right.
more Canadianized, more assimilated to the Canadian values.
The ones that
That's
were
why
born
they're-
pre-2020 or 2015.
Yes.
Those ones,
So-
pre-2020, maybe 2010, pre-2010 maybe.
That's why there's a major conflict within the community. The difference between Canadian-born Indian people and the ones who came directly from India. That's why there's lots of. That's why the news doesn't report that directly from the ones who are born and raised here. They only interview the ones who are supposed students, which is one line is they have a slogan line, good enough to work, good enough to stay. But my slogan is, if they're good enough to scam, they're good enough to deport. A lot of the ones who came here as students, they're scamming the system. So they're good enough to deport. Just deport them all.
Yeah.
That's why the ones who are born and raised here, Indian people, say.
Yep, even because when the Portuguese were deported back in 2006, 7, and 8 in Toronto, there was kids born in Canada from Portuguese parents that came on a path to citizenship.
Yes.
And they all got deported back to Portugal, even if they were born in Canada. I still remember that OPP officer that came to our classroom. He went class to class that one day in our high school at Archbishop Romero Catholic Secondary School. He came into every classroom and told us, put your hand up if you're Portuguese. Okay. Put your hand up if you're born here or born in Portugal. Okay, we want to let you know that we don't care if you're born in Canada, but if you do something, we're going to deport you back to Portugal. We don't care if you're a citizen. And that's basically what he came in to tell us, right?
And
So-
that discrimination in any community has been going on for centuries.
Yep.
Like for your background is Portuguese, mine is Indian background. Discrimination against both our communities have been going on for centuries. They just find some excuse to enforce it from time to time. So that's why they always say protect yourself as an individual and as a community.
Right.
Anywhere. So you know the reasons why they discriminate against Portuguese.
Mm-hmm.
I know that the reasons why they discriminate against India.
Mm-hmm.
Some is very valid because against towards Indian people, they have no civic sense. The ones who come from India, they throw garbage in the middle of the streets. They pee and poo in public, which is not very good, to say very politely.
Mm-hmm.
And so forth. You know all the issues. Like you're very knowledgeable, and your viewers know the issues very well. The recent community that the most hated right now is ones who are Indian, and the ones who are very knowledgeable. They know the difference, who are more Canadianized, and the ones who are students, and so forth.
Well, that's what we're and you know it's gotta hurt because you're a Canadian, you're born in Canada, you're the whole 9 yards. I think your family came from New York, but you're of Indian descent, right?
Yes.
And it's gotta hurt sometimes when all of you guys are being labeled, even though you are a contributor to this country, you pay your taxes in this country, you've given your life to to Canada.
Yes. Even for me personally, I'm injured, officially disabled, but I'm still working part-time. I'm trying to contribute something to society. It's not much right now, but I'm working part-time because I was in 3 motor vehicle collisions where I got permanent injuries in my neck and back. But I'm still working part-time. I haven't stopped. Most people would have stopped then and there. While I'm still working, still contributing something to society. Might not be as much as like the multi-billionaires, but it's something, right? So like I know a lot of the recent immigrants from India, the most minor issues, they would sit at home. Well, I don't do that because I want to contribute. I like to give, not to take.
Right. Right. 100%. I've met you in person, and I know you're a good person. And it's really, really scary how everyone gets labeled as how everyone gets labeled the same, and it's not fair. You know what I mean? It's and what I've been noticing is a lot of Chinese people in Canada have been forwarding me so much India hate. Like, look at these Indians, look at this. And I keep replying to them and I keep making videos. These people from India came in to protect your money laundering that came in from your country of China to try and fix the housing market. That's why these people showed up. 4 million of them showed up since 2020 to actually try and fix the housing market you guys laundered trillions of dollars through that the Canadians can't get in. And then I make those videos and then Chinese people get angry at me. Oh, you're anti-Chinese. I'm anti-nothing, man. This is what happened. Because if the Portuguese laundered trillions or the Australians laundered, I would say the Australians destroyed our country. But China destroyed everything. From buying up our mines and our oil facilities and our corporations and our farmland and our real estate. You go out to Nova Scotia now, it's all Chinese now. There's the Canadian people are becoming homeless in Nova Scotia and Halifax. It's all Chinese communities have taken over. Right? The Europeans build the streets and the houses and then throw them out when it's built. And then the Chinaman moves in. The Chinaman does not bring anything to this country that we need. They just bring in money to prop the economy. But we don't need a Chinaman to work in our bank. We don't need a Chinaman to work in our government. We don't need China. You know what I'm trying to say? We need the people that built these buildings and their families and community to work together and be one together. Instead of, okay, we're going to build the building so a Chinaman comes in and works. It makes no sense. Oh, we're going to spend billions in building these buildings, but Chinese people are going to come and work in them. You can't work in them. We don't. You're racist. No, you're racist. Like, it's crazy.
Yes. Okay. The real estate agent that I talked to, the condo units that he's selling, he was told, that particular real estate agent, I won't bring up his name, but he was told just to sell to the Chinese investors and no one else.
Yeah, they're instructed. They're instructed to sell only to Chinese investors and no one else. Mm. Oh, 100%. That's just how it works. That's how this scam of Canada works. Instead of being one-on-one with America, working together, cleaning out this leftist bullshit, whatever it is, public sector, bringing it down, cutting government jobs, and actually stop and getting private corporation to take over some of this, all this stuff that government wants to take on is destroying everything. And then they use the laundered money to prop up the economy since 2010. And then from there, oh, let's bring in 4 million Indians to fix the problem. It's they're destroying us over and over. And now Carney is saying, well, yeah, you know what? We don't need America. It's like, you don't need America. What is your problem, man?
Well, the Canadian economy, 95% of the economy is dependent on the U.S. If they can't trade with the U.S., they're heavily reliant on China. They purchase a lot of
But China buys the real estate and leaves it empty. Those are artificial shortages. That's not helping the economy. Now the housing isn't going up anymore. Now people can't eat because they can't use the HELOCs, their second mortgages, their lines of credit to eat anymore. Now they got no money. Now they have a $700,000 1-bedroom condo that you could buy in Fort Lauderdale for $40,000.
And if they do establish industry, they only hire foreigners. They don't hire the locals.
Right, because they're getting subsidized wages.
Yes. So that's so far my part. So I'll give opportunity for someone else to call in. That's as much as I can contribute today.
Well, I appreciate you calling in 3 more weeks. Guys, this is Blackjack Romano here on Mike in the Night. Call back in 3 weeks and we'll get your prediction show first or second week of December prediction show, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. God bless. Bye. All right, guys, that is Blackjack Romano on Mike in the Night here. All right, guys, let's start. I want to get some first-time callers on the show, guys. I want to get some first-time. Are there any first-time callers out there? Are there any first-time callers that want to come in? Anybody? Lenny Poo just messaged me. We had her on 2 weeks ago. I want to see if we get some fresh blood here on Mike in the Night. And if we don't, that's okay. We could wrap up the show early. It doesn't matter. I don't get paid to be here. I just want to be here to hang out with you guys and listen to what you guys have to say. Right? I got 3 kids at the house. I'm raising and a wife and a mom that I'm taking care of. So I keep myself as busy as possible, right? So, all right, let's see who else is out there, guys, on Mike in the Night 626, November 24, 2025. We are sitting on season 33, episode 9, folks. Try and share this wherever you can. Get people out and saying, hey, you know what? This guy doesn't screen anybody. This guy's the real deal, right? Anybody? Anybody listening? Anybody want to call in? We'll give it. I'll talk for another. What time is it? I'll talk for another 15 minutes, and if we can't secure, I would like to get a first-time caller on the show because there's a lot of people watching this. Add me on Real Mike Martins. Let me check my requests. I got no requests, so no one's requesting to message me. No problem. And we will come back next Monday again. Regular hours. It'd be nice to... someone just messaged me here. Okay. All right. We've got somebody here. First-time caller. Just see if they're there. Guys, don't forget to pick me up a coffee. Let's see if anyone bought me a coffee this week. Yay. Holy man. Sandy sent me a big donation here on coffee. Thank you, Sandy. Sandy D. I'm not going to say your name. Sandy D. Thank you for buying me a big coffee here. Wow. Woo. Thank you very much. On Mike in the Night. Okay, right here. We got somebody here on the show, coming on the show here. And, all right, let's give him a call. Make sure you lower your volume, guys, when we call you, or if you call in, make sure you lower your volume on the show so we could. Okay, right here. We got. All right, lower the volume on the show.
All right. Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Good, man. How you doing, buddy?
Not too. Hold on. Let me get me on speaker. Been doing good, Mike.
Lower your volume, guys.
Yeah, I turned it down.
Okay, like turn off the show. Just turn off the show completely.
I did. Yeah, the computer's completely off. All I could hear is you.
Perfect. All right, buddy.
How you doing, Mike?
Oh, you know how it is. You win some, you lose some.
Yeah, 100%. The biggest thing I wanted to say, thank you for allowing me back on. I just want to tell everybody, pay attention to the bankers game. Understand what backs fiat currency. Understand what happens when fiat currency goes down. Understand why, what's that guy's, Berkshire Hathaway's, what's that guy's name? I forgot his,
they made a movie about him. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he's like the biggest investor that we have in the U.S. Berkshire Hathaway, that's his real estate company, and the guy's got like a $325 billion in cash waiting to go, and there's some reason there's this ominous feeling where the market's gonna crash. Everybody feels it. Nobody knows how to go about it. And the three most important assets that you can hang on to, if you're going to do the long haul, it's going to be S&P 500. So if you start buying S&P 500 right now, it's one of those assets you got to hang on to like 30 years or more. If you're looking to something to fight inflation, gold is your best asset. If you're looking for something so you can start buying when the market's dipping, cash is your best asset.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, did you say something?
I just wanted to add to your cash thing. Is always have a couple of thousand US dollars in cash handy if you're in Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and the UK. Always keep enough money in US denominations to get you out of the country, because US dollars is accepted in anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world I've been, they accept US dollars. You show them Canadian dollars or Australian dollars or even euros, they look at you weird, right? But US dollars,
Yeah.
always have US dollars in the sock drawer in case you need to get out of the country.
Yeah, I've seen YouTube videos of people in Cancun, Mexico, and they give the bus driver $10, and
Mm-hmm.
they just divides it for him. When you're giving a bus driver $10 and change, it's kind of ridiculous, but they do it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
But American money is all accepted all over the world. Even though I think even Supreme Cannon said it himself, the U.S. dollar will outlive America.
that's kind of scary to think about. That's kind of end game
Mm-hmm.
after the Amero. Um, if it happens, like who knows, right? Like if the Amero comes out, um, what's gonna happen with the dollar? Is dollar gonna stay more valuable, or is there gonna be like competing levels in currency?
Well, if you go back to our 2012 video about how the Amero, because we were sounding the horn when the Amero's been on, they've been talking about the Amero for over 30 years. But we started picking up on the Amero when Dilma Rousseff in Brazil started talking about a BRICS nation's unified currency back in 2012 when she was president of Brazil. We were already telling you guys, okay, that, okay, the Amero now makes sense. Now the Amero needs to come in to compete against the BRICS, right?
Well, yeah.
And that's what I think is going to happen. I think they're going to have it to unify. But Mark Carney is very anti-American right now and loves to service China real good.
I genuinely think the biggest winner, even if they came out with an Amero, I think that would be later. So the first stage, I think it's Bitcoin, right? And if they can get more, if they could get the dollar back more by Bitcoin, they're going to do it before we see an Amero. So the Amero is like when all shit hits the fan, they don't have options, and then they kind of, do the Amero after. Um, but in the meantime, right now, because of that executive order that Trump signed on Bitcoin to make it part of the fiat currency that we have, it literally forced China's hand and the world to start hoarding it and start getting assets so they can get out of the dollar. No, I don't think Eastern Asia or all those countries that we don't really deal with too much, I think they fucking hate us. Excuse my language. I think they hate us because of how much control we have over the dollar, and they're doing everything tooth and nail to get out of that system.
No, but the countries surrounding China hate China more than you guys. Keep in mind, Vietnam hates China. South Korea hates China. Philippines
Yeah.
hates China. Laos hates China. All these countries surrounding Australia hates China. New Zealand hates China. So all these countries, the Australian government loves China and loves to service China real good.
Yeah,
And so does New
that-
Zealand. But the people of the country, they just don't. They want nothing. Especially Philippines. They don't like
Yeah.
China. They openly, everybody, nobody likes China. So
That's-
don't think America's hated in those countries. Think of the countries that surround China. Everybody hates China. So
Yeah, for sure, for sure. But my main thing going was that if the yen was backed by crypto, then there's more trust into that currency, and then it's like a yen backed by crypto, then more people start, like, because if everything's crypto, it's kind of like, okay, whatever, right? That was my take. It's not that they would, diffuse the dollar and be like, no, you guys aren't bad. China made the cryptocurrency. Now we're going to China. But that's the reason. So like, if the United States wins the crypto world, what the United States will probably be doing what we've been doing for the last, 80 years, 90 years, for like another 200 years.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But if China won, China can't win. Like technically they can't win. The only thing they can do is bring a service up to par that we provide through crypto that would be like, I guess I trust you, China. Because that's the whole thing about blockchain or cryptocurrencies, right? It's like there's no trust in society, but you trust in the ledger.
Mm-hmm.
And if you trust in the ledger, then it's like, okay, this is what it's worth now. That's why every country right now is accumulating Bitcoins. Every country is accumulating as much gold as possible
Mm-hmm.
right now.
Yes, there's a race. There's a race for it because we covered, I don't know if you remember, way back in the day, we were covering stories how Russia was secretly selling U.S. treasuries and buying gold. And this was like in 2014, 2013 on the channel. We were covering China selling U.S. treasuries and buying up gold, right? And we even covered back in 2018 how China was people on the streets in China, like not on the streets, but people were fighting tooth and nail buying gold several $100s over spot, because they wanted it more than their own currency, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, why? Yeah, because they know what's going to happen.
So, it's yeah. So what's happening is we're starting to see the early levels of the destruction. We're seeing the famine.
Mm-hmm.
We're seeing the poisoning of the people through vaccines and all this stuff. Now CDC's coming out, and now the destructive turbo cancer everywhere. You're starting to see families falling apart, and the family structure is what kept us together for the longest time, and what kept us unified. Now that's all falling apart. People divided over global warming and climate change. Families divided over all kinds of bullshit, and they're getting at us. They're poisoning us at every front facet possible. And I think that the Bible discusses this. The Bible makes this very clear, that we will enter this time of tribulation, and it is because every single human being on earth is now being affected. Every one of us.
Yeah, totally. Like there's not many people that I find over a certain age that are like level-headed, right? Like it's like you see somebody they're a certain age and you could automatically kind of diagnose them or stereotype them, and they're gonna live up to your expectation. And it's kind of sad because it's like how can you even get to them,
You can't.
if you wanted.
If
Yeah, that's just yeah.
If people haven't woken up yet, every day I get people telling me, oh, they're not talking about global warming anymore because they want to hide it. It's because I'm like, what? That's what you believe? Yeah, because they're hiding it because global warming is a major problem and we're going to be dead in 5 years. I'm like, Al Gore said Florida will be underwater by 2012.
Yeah,
Like,
it's everything. Yeah, everything is a joke. Everything is a stage, and it's almost like if you imagine the
I'm like,
people, like if
what?
you imagine a hockey game,
That's what you believe? Yeah. 'Cause
imagine some rookies versus like the New Jersey Devils,
Mhm.
and they're just passing the puck between our legs, and we're like, yeah, we have a chance, and it's like the score is like 4-0.
Mhm. Mhm.
And it's like for some reason there's some like dumb optimism,
Mhm.
for the masses. I mean, right? There's gonna be a lot of individuals, a lot of smart individuals who kind of check out of the system and understand that they might have to live their lives in an abnormal way in order to get the most out of it. Because if you choose to go in like you're normie, you go into the workforce, you do something stupid, you're wasting years out of your life with
Yeah.
potential health problems because of the stress or whatever. That sounds kind of ridiculous, but I've seen like YouTube videos of there's a guy named Oliver who's like sailing around, and he worked at a tire shop most of his life, and now he's got like neck pain that he can't recover from.
Mhm.
So you work at a tire shop for 20 years, you might have you might not come out of it clean. You know what I mean?
Right.
So and most people are in those situations where they're working jobs that put their health in danger. They don't think about it twice. They're like, fuck it, it is what it is. and they can only, welders, right? They're inhaling the fumes, right? You get so most welders and firefighters, they only live to like 50 or 60.
If 60, if 60.
If 60, yeah, 50, yeah, 60 is old for a firefighter. So there's a lot of, it's like, life is tough, and it's a very tactical, it's a very complicated game of chess between you and the bankers, and they have the upper hand.
Keep going. You're on a roll.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like, so the only thing that you can do is like, if you have to, like, the way you start is you kind of have to look at yourself and look for what you fell for, right? Like, we all have ideas that we married to. It might hurt our ego. It might break us. And then once you look, or once you pierce through that looking glass, I don't know if that makes sense, or you pierce through the reality, and you see things for what they are, and you extend, because everything, like, I hate to say this, but everything is based on currency, right? Like, if you're making money, think to yourself, is your minimum wage job, does it allow you to live for the next 6 months and like not give a fuck? Can you do something like extravagant? It's like most people can. Most people are tired. It's like you're a fucking slave. And the sad part about it is that, like, the educational system didn't do anything good for anybody, in the sense that, like, it taught them to learn maybe niche skills or something that they can sell, or create a group with people. So most people are stuck in restaurants. Like, I think the newest highest employment rate, the reason why it went up in the United States was because they hired a bunch of restaurant workers. But if you know anything about, like, yeah, if you know anything about being in the restaurant industry, you know that it's fucking brutal.
It is.
You know that, yeah, like, if you're not a professional, if you don't know how to do, like, it's, most people don't grow up wishing they were a line cook. You know what I mean? In my case, I restaurants when I was 14. That's like, that was my first job. I've worked, when I was 14 till, like, even I'm 35 now. Even a few years ago, I was working at a restaurant. But the jobs that I've had in between, I got to work in the film industry. Now I work in tech. And but programming was like a serious decision to, like, sit behind, discipline myself, learn what I have to do to create websites. How do servers work? How does JavaScript works? How do you create features? How do you create back end features, front end features, all that stuff that we use on the web today? I took that upon myself to learn, because I knew the situation was fucking deep shit a long time ago. And now I see people kind of growing up, and it doesn't have to be tech. It could be anything, as long as as long as you understand that it's a capitalist system, that's something you can market. If you can create something you can market and sell, you'll kind of you'll kind of make do. I mean, like, you look at, there's so many YouTube creators online that just make dumb content, and then it's like, I
They
hate
get
to
pushed
say
up.
this.
That's controlled information distribution. They're allowed to grow because they're
Yeah.
obviously pushing a narrative or some bullshit that they're getting paid for through U.S. aid. Your tax dollars are paying these people in Canada and Australia and New Zealand. We said it at the beginning of the show. Your tax dollars are funding these people.
Yeah, I think you said something end game clarity to what I was gonna say, because I was gonna say most people who are saying shit online are fucking retarded. And if you have a lot of retards publishing their bullshit online, of course you're gonna have the government push certain narratives, or push certain people to the front to make sure that they get a lot of people, because idiots follow idiots, right? You have what was that guy named Hassan Piker? Shock my dog, shock my dog, shock. See, there's some idiot leftist. He's super famous, and he got famous because, some bull. I don't know what he got famous for, but then now people are condemning him because he shocked his dog. Is that on purpose? I don't think so. I think the fucking Israelis created, like, memes about it, and they're saying, "Hey, we got to blow this up," because if they didn't blow it up, nobody would fucking notice.
Right. Right.
Nobody's paying attention. Nobody notices. It's all like somebody waving some, like, rave magic wand. They're like, pay attention to this, pay attention to this, and then, like, people are like, oh yeah, oh yeah.
You
People
sound like,
aren't
you know who
thinking.
you sound like when you say that? You sound like the
Huh.
guy for the Kool-Aid guy. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. yeah. But that's what it is. Like you meet kids and you're like, what are you doing? Like you'll meet master students, you'll meet PhD students, and you're like, what's your grandiose final paper about? And they're like, I'm making some pseudo magic batteries out of potatoes so I can solve the electricity crisis in areas where they don't have electricity. I'm like, and then I think to
So if they don't
myself,
have electricity, how are they gonna have potatoes?
yeah, well, my point, that's a good question. But my point was like, didn't they do these science experiments in kindergarten or
They did.
like third grade?
Yes,
Why
they
are
did.
you doing your masters on them?
Yeah.
You know, if you're doing a potato power experiment and you're at your master's level, I'm scared of you. How stupid are you? I'm terrified how like, and then you get to you have a conversation with these people and then they pull up their Instagram and they're like, look at my dumb life. And they're like, I'm the best artist ever. And then you look at their art and it's like nothing, it's creative stick doodling. And you're like, really? Okay. And then you ask them, you're like, hey, person of gnarly, weird education, what do you think of these renowned artists? And they're like, oh yeah, cool stuff. Look at my stuff. And
Hmm.
like you didn't even appreciate what the other person did. You're this self-entitled fucking loser. Um, and I think a lot of people, the ego, the narcissism has gone to such extents that, like, I would say most people are fucking blind
Hmm.
to their own. They're smelling their own fucking farts.
Yep. Like, remember that episode of South Park when they were smelling their own farts when they went to San Francisco?
I'm gonna have to watch it because I probably haven't seen it. There's some
Watch,
I've seen.
type
There's
in
some I
San
haven't
Francisco,
seen.
South Park, San Francisco smell farts. You're gonna laugh your ass off. Maybe I
I'm
should
gonna.
play it here on the show. But when I stream on YouTube and I play clips, it actually flags my video down. So I kind of keep it as clean as possible when it comes to
Yeah,
using
I would.
copyright.
I would. Yeah, yeah. You're doing a lot of work. You're pushing the message pretty far. I'm pretty sure the guys who are moderating, like the bankers who want to moderate you too, they probably hate your guts, but they
Oh,
know there's nothing they can do.
yep.
Um, so it's like they're doing everything they can to keep you down. So it's like just keep doing it, and like hope like, because like I said, and I hate to say this, I was once retarded. I had Down syndrome at one point,
Hmm.
and I got out of it. I got punched in the face enough, and I said, that really hurts. What's happening? Why am I getting punched in the face? Why am I not able to do certain things? And that's kind of how I started paying attention to what's really happening, around me. No offense to people who actually have Down syndrome, which I'm pretty sure they're not watching this at the moment. I love Down syndrome people, but you don't understand my
I know what you
message.
mean. I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Well, I'm partially like if you look at my high school folder, if you go to my record from high school, it even says IQ when it says under IQ age, whatever status, male, whatever. It says IQ
Yeah.
and it says partially retarded on my actual file from my high school. If you read my file, you'd be like, it says partially retarded for IQ.
They probably put partially retarded because you weren't fitting the mold that they were expecting, and they're like, "Why isn't this guy cheery and retarded?
Hmm.
Why isn't he clapping along to the songs that we cheer? Why is he questioning stuff?
Hmm.
He must be partially retarded."
Yeah,
And
but
then it's like, and then you also too like, at the end of the day, I genuinely believe that language is a parasite. If we stopped, I know that sounds like a crazy thing, but there's a video about, I don't know if you guys watch Chase Hughes. He's this crazy he could be a government psyop, right, for the
hmm.
better good. There could be multiple psyops, some for the worse, some for the better.
Hmm.
And I because sometimes I see information where I'm like, you know what, I've been alive 35 years, and what you're saying is dog, doggone fucking spot on, and I've never heard anybody say it better than you. I couldn't articulate it better than this motherfucker had.
Hmm.
And one of the ones is that he came out with is that language is a parasite, because if you have a feeling, if you look at something, when you look at it, you're gonna have a word pop up, right? You see a triangle, you're gonna think triangle. You're
Hmm.
gonna see an octopus, you're gonna think the octopus. Instead of thinking, you see a triangle and you could be like, oh, Lego piece. Oh, this could fit into something else. You see an octopus and you're like, hey, that's a weird gooey substance creature that came out of the sea, and what exactly, what are these arms that it has? Even arms is already, um, if I'm saying that words or language is a parasite, if you could say the arms or tentacles of a octopus, that's already, part of. So there's a big thing where like we you look at different languages and you can show the same thing. All different languages are going to have a different reaction. All different languages are going to have different emotion towards whatever you showed them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think that creates an obstacle for propaganda in governments, because you start seeing propaganda in other countries, you start seeing commercials in other countries, and it's like they all have their own fucking vibe, but same shit.
Yep. 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 Wow, you're on fire tonight. You should call in once every 3 weeks and update us. Take some point form notes for the next 3 weeks. Oh, we got our... No, never mind. You're going to be calling in 2 weeks anyways, because we have our prediction show, our annual prediction show.
What's the prediction show?
Well, if you go back, you'll go back 8 years in a row. We every year on Mike in the Night, we do a prediction show, second week of usually first or second week of December, where people would call in and give us their predictions for 2026, and they take point form notes. They call in, everyone gets 7-8 minutes maximum, and they tell us their predictions for 2026, right? And every year we do this. We do this every year.
Yes, I'm already ready. I already know what I already know what I'm gonna say.
We'll take some notes because we're gonna have a lot of callers. Everyone's gonna get up to 6 minutes, and we're gonna let everyone basically give us their. You can go back and watch last year's 2025 prediction show if you want. It's up for 20. Yeah, it's up. If you want to watch it.
I saw the Gold War video you sent me. It's fucked up.
Oh, the Gold War is about how the Portuguese were completely deplatformed and completely destroyed and hated all over the world.
Yeah, the Gold War is terrible. It makes sense. Like I see it, and I'm like, yeah, fucking motherfuckers. As far as 2026 goes, I won't let it. I'm not gonna give it away now, but yeah, if you have me back on, I'm curious to see. I would like to send you right now through Instagram. I'll tell you what I think is gonna happen through 2026. And then we can take note of it now, so that when the conversation happens, I'd like to see how many people agree with me.
Sure, no problem. Send it to me on Instagram.
Yeah, something to be like, yeah, well, this was noted 2 weeks ago. Now we have 6 other people saying the same shit. Because if you have more people saying the same thing, more people are going to pay attention.
That is correct.
If you have, because you could have the one person saying something, and they're gonna be like, haha, you're full of shit. Nobody believes you. But you got like 10 people saying, yeah, this is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. Boom, boom, boom. And then you hear it, and you're like, most people, I think they react to it instinctively, like on a human level, in a different way.
All right. So I'm going to nickname you Rocco the Hammer Janetti, okay? I don't like to use real people's names, so we always use like kind of alias names on the show.
Yeah, call me Bob Saget.
Bob Saget?
That's the first name that came to mind.
Bob. Okay, because I was gonna call you maybe. I was looking at calling you Rocco the Hammer Janetti.
Rocco the Hammer Janetti. I love that. You just created that. I feel
because you sound like a friend of mine growing up, an Italian friend. His name was Rocco, and they used to call him the Hammer, and his last name was Janetti. So you sound like Rocco the Hammer Janetti. So
Rocco the Hammer. I love it. Rocco the Hammer Janetti.
Yep. So yeah. That's so you could change your Instagram name to that because you don't have a name on your Instagram, so you can call yourself Rocco the Hammer Janetti, and then people could find you and talk to you too from the show because people find people from the show on Instagram now, and they're messaging each other and talking, and hey, I heard you on the show, so what do you think? Or blah blah blah. People are friendly. You don't have stalkers. You know what I'm saying here. So.
Yeah. Well, just to let everybody listening right now, I'm doing research every day, all day.
I know you are.
And yeah, most of the research I'm doing is financial and seeing where the financial leads to the social repercussions because they're always hand in hand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, it's good. Well, then share it on the show so people could get some more insight on what you're finding out, right? It makes perfect sense, right? And it helps everybody out. It helps the channel out. The channel looks more legit when more people call in, and yeah. So, anyways, Rocco the Hammer Janetti tonight on Mike in the Night, making his first. You've been on before, but now you are here now, and we'll get you back on our prediction show in a couple of weeks, okay?
I'll be here.
God bless you, my friend.
God bless you too. Godspeed. Thank you, Mike. Good night, guys.
Good night. So that is Rocco the Hammer Genetti. Rocco the Hammer Genetti. So everyone's gonna. We don't use real names on this show, like unless people choose to, which I don't recommend because things might fall apart. Like Blackjack Romano just called in. Blackjack Romano's been calling in for a long time now, and he goes by Blackjack Romano, right? I just don't feel it's a good idea. I'm using my real name. People could find me at my store. I'm not hiding from anybody. I'm 100%. So we got $2, a $2 donation for Nidoman Nito Tem 888 saying Carney gets arrested within 2 weeks. My prediction. Okay, all right. So guys, start adding me on Instagram now, people, for the prediction show to make sure we get enough callers in. And we got to get Alan Holwick to call back in the show. I think he made an appearance last year or the year before. He's been calling into. He's been watching and commenting on my stuff for years now, So we got people. I got messages here coming in. Someone just sent me an attachment. City of Toronto to look into spiritual affirmation coverage for 2 spirited settlers who live on stolen land. I don't know what the hell's going on. I just want to let you guys know that the Chinese and the Canadian government are working on creating applications to get in people from India to come into Canada. And someone just sent me a little clip here telling me that it's confirmed. And they have to. Because our governments will go so far out of their way to kill us to protect the Chinese. That's how Canada is so entrenched with China. It's crazy. You can't make this stuff up. Someone says, hey, you missed my $20 super chats. Okay, do I have a $20 super chat? Where? Oh, there it is. Here we go. Who cares? Mark Carney responded to a reporter when asking about Canada and America trade. Carney and Hillary Clinton are doing a banana split over Canada for America to incorporate Canada. Script is written in the Clinton offices. So there you go. I got your $20 too. Thank you so much for that. But yep, that's 100% true. The Clintons, all these people, the Obamas, all these people are trouble, man. Man, we could go back all the way to the Lyndon Baines Johnson administration. E. Harding administration was a problem, right? All these administrations have been a major problem. Yep, we're China's lapdog. All right, who else is out there, folks? What I could do is I got a few more. I got some war headlines here we'll go over, and then hopefully if you want to message me and send me a message request, or you haven't been on the show in a long time and you want to come and make an appearance, just go ahead and let me know. But yeah. Tig Nim is in the house. Have a good night, Tig. All right, let's go into some war. Nigeria school kidnapping. Who's behind it? Why were children targeted? More than 300 school children abducted amid a surge in armed attacks, bringing back memories of 2014 with the girls kidnapping. A lot of those girls were kidnapped and brought into Muslim camps and forcing them to recite the Quran. And Michigan, what's going on in Michigan? Michigan Senator Alyssa admits that Trump has not issued illegal orders to U.S. military. Yeah, everyone lies and makes up stuff, and it's just just the bullshit world we live in. Israel conducting military drills in Syria's occupied Golan Heights. Israeli army has launched large-scale military exercise in the occupied Golan Heights following the regime's assassination of senior commander Lebanon's resistance movement of Hezbollah. And Israel targets Hezbollah chief of staff in Beirut strike, raising fears of escalation. This is not over, folks. It's going to keep going, and they're going to keep going, and a lot of people are going to be sent to the meat grinder. Ongoing Israeli violations will finally render Gaza truce null and void, warns Hamas. And EU rejects Trump's Ukraine peace deal. Of course they're going to reject it. Why would they want peace? The EU has rejected the Ukraine peace deal drafted by the White House to put forward its own set of conditions for potential agreement. Of course. And Pyongyang, remember that guy? That guy over there in North Korea? Missile Revolution, the most dangerous program? You're not paying attention. From solid fuel ICBMs to hypersonic glide vehicles, North Korea now fields an arsenal that can reach any points in the continental United States. And it goes into saying intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs, on October 11, 2025. Pyongyang held large military parade marking the 80th anniversary of the Workers' Party of Korea. The WPK has spent decades promoting a national future built on the principles of Junshi, and the parade showcased the newest advance of North Korea's missile and military. So there it is right there. They are building up. North Korea is one of the very few countries that has the lowest divorce rate in the world. Is North Korea has the lowest divorce rate. They got one divorce in 1,000 or 10,000 people, and there's their missiles there, and there they are, saber rattling, always doing their thing, right? So, and we got submarine launched ballistic missiles. So North Korea is pushing the envelope, and they got their short-range ballistic missiles, SRBMs, that could go up to 1,000 kilometers. And North Korea is pushing the envelope, man. North Korea is really pushing hard to take it to the next level. All right, let's go back. You are tuned into Mike in the Night, the voice of the Commonwealth, guys. Don't forget, if you want to pick up your boy Mike a coffee, you can. Let's go back into our... Where the heck is our channel plug here? Is that our channel plug? Yeah, it's our channel plug. Guys, if you want to buy me a coffee, I'll put a link in the description. You could be... Go ahead and do that if you want. You could send me a super chat if you want. You could send me whatever. There it is. There. Support the transmission any way possible. Share this video. Join the channel if you want to join the 99-cent club and pay $1 a month and support us there. And KiwiRadio.nz. Don't forget to check them out. And Facebook. Our Facebook is blowing up, folks. I'm very, very grateful that you see how Facebook censors people's comments. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Right here. See this? See that? It's like this guy's blocked, and I didn't block the guy. And yeah. So I just wanted to let you guys know what's going on, that I'm not blocking you people on the show. And MikeInTheNight.org takes you to pretty much a playlist of most of the episodes, where I'm trying to move them all over, of Mike in the Night. Lots of good stuff. Look, it's 522.
Everything's kind of easing out of itself. Australians, what I've sort of found, or in my group, they just want to escape and go on a holiday. That's all they want to do.
That's 522 if you want to check it out. And then there's the 30-week straight protest we were covering just before the Hamas attacks. 30 weeks straight. Like, this is Mike in the Night 515. Israeli protest, 30 weeks straight. BB out. Full footage here, folks. Oh, yeah. So we're on a 30th week now of protesting. And what was this? Mike in the Night's 469. People dying on live TV.
You know, for like the surrounding areas, counties, you open it up and there's like 2 pages of arrest every week. And it's crackheads, DWIs, people didn't show up for court. A lot of thievery, petty thievery around here. You know, like you got a work trailer parked in off to your driveway, off to your yard. It's rural here. You know, people just come right down your driveway in the middle of the day. If you're not...
So those are older episodes of Mike in the Night. MikeInTheNight.org. Go there and check them out, guys. and see our episodes there of Mike in the Night. Okay. And I see Mike everywhere now on Facebook. You do? You see me on Facebook? Facebook is wide open now. I don't get any time out anymore. Well, that's good to know that. That's good to know that at least some of the word is getting out somewhere. And we do have a track record of us discussing these things going back 10, 15 years. So it's not like we just started last week for clickbait money or whatever. Yes, Dino Bravo has brought up something very, 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 something very important. Careful on social media. It's wide open to set up people. Watch what you say. But the thing is, with that said, well, I said it 7 years ago. Why didn't they do anything about it? I said it 15 years ago. Why are they doing something about it now? Because we take that to court and we say, well, I said it 8 years ago. So what? Now it matters? So with me, it's a little different when you have 6,000 videos and you got 2,007 videos that were taken down. Right? So they always find ways. Yeah. Yeah, keep it open to spy, right? I'm behind that Indian gentleman caller. Was great. Two thoughts. U.S. cause all of your housing woes via Nixon Clinton spending every job to China. And where is a 40K condo in Florida? Here, I could show you. I could show you lots of them for 40 grand. People are walking away from them. I guess I have to show it now because then I'm going to look like a liar. I guess I'll look at it now. I'll do this for you guys now, just so I don't look like I'm full of shit, right?
Home and take it. You know, if it's not locked up.
I know that
Hold on, guys.
crime has been spiking all over the place, but
I got
you would
something
think
playing
that
in the background.
smaller
Give me a
areas
sec,
it wouldn't
folks.
Be that, but the problem is it's this catch and release system that the police.
Okay, there we go. It's an old episode of Mike in the Night. I don't know why it's playing. But let me show you your 40 grand condos in Florida. I just have to show it now because if I say something and then it doesn't come up, like if people don't believe me, it becomes it could become a problem, right? And I could look like a liar. So I just want to. So let's just. All right. Okay, let's remove boundary. Here we go. So, okay, so here it is, folks. Here's lots of them. You guys can pick and choose whatever you guys want. There's lots of apartments and condos for that much money. $32,000 for a trailer. And then you got apartments, actual condos. You got lots of them. You got lots of These gated communities are really good. These ones right here, this one's $49.99. This is a gated community. This one, you got a pool, you got a community pool, you got a gate around your property. There's thousands of them. This one for 58. It's in the range. You could show up there and say, I got 40 grand. I got no money. I got 40 grand. Take it or leave it. Right? You get a place by a lake. There's the lake right there, and you got a gym that's part of your thing. It's good for retired people too. Look, 48 grand. Look, there's so many. There's pages and pages and pages and pages and pages. 54, 55, $3,200. And they're for real. They're not timeshares. They're actually real. $10,000, $5 grand. Like this in Vancouver. A place like this in Vancouver would cost you like $500,000, $1 million for a place like this in Vancouver, right? So there's lots of them here. So lots of apartments. So I could go here all night and show you guys tons of these. So land for sale, 10,000 square foot lot. Another apartment condo, 42,000. So there's ones over by the water. Anyways, there you go. I can't sound like a bullshitter online. I got to make sure I'm not lying to you guys so you guys understand what's going on. May the Lord Jesus bring you
all the desires of your hearts. Amen, amen, amen. We're living in the end of the Bible now, past Revelation chapter 19. Mark Carney is the Antichrist and Hillary riding the beast. Yeah. Yep, only a very low IQ person. But Odanis Fioretto, pay attention. People are paying for burnt down homes in burnt down, collapsed World War I crack foundation homes that you can't even live in, and they're paying a million over asking for that kind of property I showed you guys there. $1 million over asking. But there's gators in Florida. Who cares? It's cold 9 months of the year in Canada. I'd rather live with gators than 9 months of the year. I lived in Florida for 5 years. I think I saw one alligator in a zoo somewhere. Yeah. Yeah. So. Yeah, someone's had fried gator in Florida. It's good, tasty. All right, guys. Who else is out there? Oh, I missed a call. Okay, we got a caller here. Ozzy Cheems. Let's get him on the show right now. Let's get him on the show. Sorry, I missed your call. All right, let's call Ozzy Cheems. Ozzy Cheems is here. Hello?
Hey, Mike, can you hear me?
Yes,
Hi?
sir.
Can you hear me, Mike?
Yes, I could hear you. Okay.
Good, good.
Good to hear from you, buddy. Thanks for the coffee. You bought me a coffee a week or two ago, and I want to thank you for that.
Oh, my pleasure. And it's always a pleasure as you're out there, out here. You're funded by the people, or funded more likely by yourself as well, and trying to spread the good message, the non-corporatized, non-government agenda as well. You're really the voice for the people, and that is worth investing in.
Well, I appreciate that very much. It means a lot to me. So, you're in Australia. You're going through the same thing we did in Canada. Any Commonwealth country, the money laundering, overabundant money laundering from China. Government's wide open, just letting in illegal funds, and then now you guys are using your second mortgages to buy food like we are in Canada.
Oh yeah, the floodgates are right open, and not only do we have Chinese, we've got a lot of people from India coming in.
Well, no, hold on
Labor
a sec. The Chinese came first. The Chinese came first. Since 2010, they came in. They unloaded. Yep. They unloaded $1.7 trillion through Australian real estate. And then by 2020, your government, my government, the New Zealand government, the UK government thought it was a good idea to bring in millions of Indians to fix the ailing housing crisis.
Yep, that's right. The thing is now the Chinese are, I guess they're still coming in. They're not, the market has reached maybe a good value point for them, but the Prime Minister, there's a bit of tension because Australia has taken maybe US's side in this BRICS conflict. So the Prime Minister, Albo, is going and sucking up to the Indians now as well to import them. And he has this scheme where he's going to import like the Indian laborers from India to go and apparently build us 1 million drillings here in Australia.
I'm going to hit the
you
bathroom.
see how it's a feedback loop. You've got to import labor to... I'll keep talking. Yep, sure thing.
I'm going to the bathroom. Go.
Yeah. And yeah, I am not like I would vote Liberal Party, which is the Conservative side here, as they usually try and at least keep a stop putting a cost on the people of Australia. These, well, the Labor Party, their operandi modus is to put a cost on the higher achievers of Australia. So how do they do that? They ramp up the costs to buy a home. They ramp up the cost of living. They are more friendly to the mass immigration here into this country. So the Liberals do, they're the same ring, same set of rings on the same bird. So the Liberals do have like very high immigration, but it's not as high as the Labor Party. It's still way too high, though.
Listen, Australia does not need immigration, period. The Australian proper needs incentives, like the Portuguese are doing in Portugal. So the Portuguese proper to have more children. Don't bring in. You don't need Chinamen and Indians and people coming into Australia because Australia is losing its identity. You don't need a Chinaman to come and work. You don't need to build the bank and then the Chinaman comes work in the bank. No, forget that. That scenario doesn't work. And being open and being diverse is all bullshit because the Australian proper built Australia since World War I, pretty much building it up, stacking it up, building them highways, building that infrastructure, building the libraries, the stadiums and everything. And then for what? To be kicked out of their own country? Or to be pushed out because, we can't afford to have kids because it's so expensive because these guys launder trillions of dollars through our real estate so we can't feed ourselves anymore? That's total bullshit. Australia needs, just like Canada, needs a massive audit and start removing people that don't contribute to the country.
Yep, exactly. They need to get them off to back where they came from, and they need to. It's kind of ingrained in the culture here, though, as you've heard about. Like you'd have something like Medicare, Medicaid over there in Canada. Well, we've got something called welfare and Centrelink over here, where like it has been a up until very recently, up until COVID, it has been like a way of life where Australians who haven't who just want to get by in life by not doing anything. The government will fund that lifestyle. You can just barely pay for food and pay for rent over your head, but at least you're able to like live for free. And that's created a class which is dependent on the government and will vote for the more government handouts as well. And these people are the voting base which has put this, which has allowed this government to start the mass migration after COVID as well. You do know that Australia, after 2022, after the COVID gates fell down, we have had 500,000 net migration. So that's people coming in to stay in the country, minus people leaving. And I suspect those figures, and that's each year. So that's basically over 2023 to 2025, that's 1.5 million people. Our net population at 2022, I believe, was 26 million. So that's almost an 8% increase in population. And we're the country which is one of the highest developing out of all of the developed countries. We, per population, per capita, we are developing shelters as one of the highest rates. I think we're second. So, and the prices are still going up.
Well, I have one here for you. This is back in 2016. We covered this on my channel. Canada wants more Chinese worker students and tourists, says immigration minister, and we are working to bring in, it's right here, 500,000 Chinese per year, and opening more offices in China will help Canada compete for Chinese worker students and lucrative tourist business. They bring in a lot of money, the biggest market, and purchase real estate. So this, when you go on Stats Canadian Stats Immigration Status, you won't find the 500,000 Chinese coming in per year. You come into Canada, you will see the 500,000 Chinese people around you coming in per year. But StatsCan does not put investors under immigrants or under immigration. So we're being lied to on every front. So this is already 2016. They're bringing in 500,000 per year, right? So why? Because the country's already built. And they know that the Chinese aren't going to come and build anything. They're just going to come and work at a bank, or they're going to work for the government. And they're gonna vote a certain way, right?
They'll vote for larger government and jobs which benefit their own people over what's good for the native population here, which is the Europeans, people of European descent.
That built the country.
Yep. Yeah.
Let me ask you.
Exactly.
I want to throw something. Let me throw something out there for you.
Go.
You know, I believe, and I've been believing this because I'm going back through. I own history books that were published in the 17 and 1800s. They were published that year in the 1700s.
Yep.
And I'm looking at history books, and what they're telling us the population of China is, like in the 1700s, is nowhere near where it is today because it doesn't add up. According to my numbers and graphing and trying to figure out and using AI to help me, and AI doesn't believe me. Oh, there was no record of China saying that there's that many people living in China. And then I take a photo of my book that's published pretty much nowhere in the world. I take a photo of it, upload it to AI, and AI says, oh, okay, I don't know this document, whatever. So then it does the math for me, and it starts doing the math, and it says, well, technically, I may be right, because I've been saying China has 400 million people, and over 200 million of them are over 65. There is absolutely no way that China has over 1 billion people during the Reagan administration one-child policy and all the other things that went on. Because if you go back to World War I, China's population was like 90 million. Not even 90 million. Not even. So how do they reach...
Yep.
Like, it doesn't... Dude, am I crazy?
I don't think you are. I mean, we've heard about the ghost cities there, and it's kind of hard to film in China. I mean, Shanghai is a very big city, and then you see shots of Beijing, but to go around and visit all of the cities, and then you do a head count of city looks like it's got 5 million people, 20 million people, etc. I think it would add up to 500 million, probably 400 million, like what you said, as well. So the Chinese government could be, for whatever reasons, makes life easier for them on multiple fronts, could be reporting a larger number than there actually is in China. They'd probably know. The question would, that also begs the question about if governments around the world have done this.
Well, I believe so. I believe India doesn't have the population it does, because I have people in Bangalore, I have people in different parts of India, and they're telling me once you leave the city they're in, there's nothing for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of miles. It's all farms. There's nothing in between.
Yep.
Everyone's crowded on the one little major boulevard in that main city, and that's it. Like, you don't have... Yeah, they're lying about the world's pop. They've been lying to us. They said, what are they saying it's at now? 7 billion?
Probably 7.5.
Okay, according to one of my history books, they have one that's published in Latin. It's not even published in Portuguese or Spanish or English. It's published in Latin. And it's telling me that the world's population during the time of Christ was 9 million people. Recorded that they knew 9 million people lived in the known world that they knew of. 9 million at the time of Christ.
Yeah.
Right?
That's not a lot, yeah.
So when you start doing the math, it just doesn't add up to where we are today.
Yeah, that would probably be Europe and the Middle East, which is where they would have been able to find if you're talking about 2,000 years ago. Maybe no knowledge of America or and China, and Australia would be not populated if the history books are to be believed.
Right. Someone in the comments is saying there's over 8 billion now. I don't believe it, dude. I don't believe it. I drove across Canada multiple times. You pass 3, 4, 5 major cities crossing the entire country. Okay? And they're saying there's 45 million people in this country. I don't believe it. I believe New York alone has more population and more bigger cities, even Florida. Have you remembered when I kept telling you guys on this show how I believe, I believe that Canada is Florida, Toronto would be Miami, Vancouver would be Fort Lauderdale, Daytona would be let's say Burnaby. Like all these cities have a brother or sister city in Florida. And Florida has an incredible amount of infrastructure. And I believe that basically there's more in Florida than there is in all of Canada. And that's I don't believe there's 45 million people in Canada. I'm sorry. I just don't believe it.
Yeah. Yep.
You go to Vancouver, one of our major cities, bigger cities, West Coast city, it's empty. It's an empty shell. There's nobody there. Right?
Yeah. Oh, I think people have like just gotten out, been flushed out by the house prices and everything. Either sold up and said, if this were out of here, or weren't able to break in. So it's, a dried out husk. And it's probably used by money launderers to store value in the apartments there. And if everyone else is buying it, then the value holds and the native population can't break in.
Mm.
Yeah.
If the Australian proper isn't having kids, if Canadian proper isn't having kids, if all these people aren't having kids, where's this population? Yeah, they're bringing in migrants, but where's the population? Like, it doesn't add up. They're subtracting people from another country to come to another one. You get what I'm saying? So they're removing people from another country to come to another one to make up that deficit. But it doesn't make any sense. I don't believe there's 400 million people in China, and that's what I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The going back to Australia as well, you started to make me doubt if we've got 27 million here. Now, I'm in Perth, Western Australia. That is the second most isolated city in the world, following Honolulu. So I haven't spent all that much time in Brisbane, Melbourne, and Sydney, and I haven't really gone over to those places after COVID to like eyeball it and everything. From like maybe Sydney, you're seeing how congested the Sydney traffic gets. Maybe there'd be a case there, but it's very doubtful that the housing numbers are real. And if I had like the time to do this for these capital cities, and especially Perth, because we've got quite low density real estate here. There's been we're the longest. Perth is the longest capital city in the world. Full stop. We've got a train line which goes down to Mandurah, which is 80 kilometers south of the CBD, and then we've got a train line which I was building up to Yanchep, which is 55 kilometers north of the CBD. And then anyway, we're very long, narrow, so we're very boxy. There's a little bit of a bulge at the outside following the Swan River east to the Darling Scarp, which is a small hill range of hills.
And you guys have the Mitchell Freeway there too.
Yes.
That freeway is one of the
Mitchell Freeway.
That's a great freeway, I heard.
It's still flowing pretty good. And the planners back in the day, they knew what they were doing. They put a rail reserve in the middle of it, and eventually they built a railway through there. Unfortunately, they have put the smart technology over there. The Kwinana Freeway, which is like the southern part of the Mitchell Freeway, they've got like cameras over these smart signboards run by the government, and like the smart signboards will they'd reduce speed if like someone's had a crash, and then says, all right, we've got to get the towies out here, get them off the freeway, and so the traffic can flow quicker. They reduce the speed to from 100 k's to 60 k's, but under several of these signboards, which occur every kilometer, you've got like cameras, and the cameras can tell, they're static cameras, if you're moving too fast, it will send you a speeding ticket. If you're holding, or you have a mobile phone in your lap, and you get $1,000 Australian fine because of that.
Yeah. But what I noticed,
and basically the same thing will happen to the Mitchell Freeway.
Well, what I heard, what about the Graham Farmer Freeway?
That one is not very long. It goes into a place called Oorong Road. It basically goes out from the east side of the CBD and then flows for about 5 kilometers. There's like no interruptions or on-ramps because it's going around the river, and then it just transforms into a main road called Oorong Road, which is speed limit 70 k's an hour.
Okay.
So I think there's in Perth, one of the plans is to sink Oorong Road and extend the Grand Farmer Freeway that way, but it's very built up and developed. So the WA Planning Commission didn't do a good job in that regards, keeping it free.
So I got somebody here reporting. Somebody was reporting here that the Indians are coming for land on Vancouver Island. That's an island here in BC where Victoria is, and they're coming up for that land too, right? So it's really weird, just really weird how our governments are blatantly selling us out. Like it's incredible how nobody is actually standing up to. Sorry guys, my mom is just yelling in the hallway here. I'm sorry. How no one's standing up to this. I mean, I make videos about it. I can only do what I can, right? But I am trying to create awareness of this massive takeover. Like
the same thing's happening with our governments here. It's like any Indian or Sikh community who applies to have land for a temple, they will be granted it, and by the government. The land is quite expensive, I guess, in population centres, probably $2 to $5 million.
Church, you have to buy your Catholic Church. You have to buy your own land. You have to buy everything on your own, and you got to pay your taxes too.
Yeah, that's right.
Catholic Church has to pay for everything. But a temple, they probably give them 100 years no tax, or probably at least the land at $1 a year or something.
Yeah, the good old peppercorn rent. If you're in favour with the government, you get it for free, basically. Probably negative because you've got some fancy accounting method, so you pay less money or tax or whatever else on that.
So we got someone in the comments. I just want to say, someone in the comments saying, I'm in Victoria and we do have too many Indians here, especially at Walmart, Taxi, and Tim Hortons. Walmart, Taxi, and Tim Hortons is because they're getting wage subsidies. Your tax dollars are paying for them to be there, so your kids can't get jobs after school.
Yep, I noticed the same thing here. Like in the service stations in Western Australia, 90% of the time, they're staffed by Indians.
Do they have wage subsidy there too?
It's replacement. I don't think so. I think it's just, it may be the owners are rich Indians and they're employing their mates, or they seem to be, they're willing to work for less. And it's like the fuel, like the regulation on the fuel would probably just go through if your pumps are screwing the other person, not on who's actually manning the store at late hours. Or if your fuel is environmentally compliant, just stuff like that. And I think it just seems to be the job for Indians. You go into like two big shopping chains, supermarket chains, Coles and Woolworths, and it's a mixed bag on who is manning the till, who's manning the stores. The stores have been reduced by, the checkout chicks have been reduced by those do-it-yourself scanners as well. And it's very sad. And there's like monitoring systems in them now. And if like the AI, which is watching you, detects if you're doing the dodgy at the big, at the self-serve checkout, these glass doors will close on you and they won't allow you to leave the store now.
Oh, and then they call the police, right?
So, yep.
You know, I got something to say.
They call the police.
I got something to say. What they've been doing in the U.S., and I think we made a video about this in 2021, 2022. We made a video about this, detailing this actually, that what they're doing now is shoplifters, they're photographing them at the checkout, and then once they pass $1,000 in stolen goods, they actually then charge them for grand theft, and they actually do time in jail. They're doing that in the States.
Yep.
So they actually keep a file on the person every time they come in, and then once they calculate over $1,000 in theft, they put them away for grand theft.
Yeah, that's very interesting. But that's something that what would happen with AI, I guess, and the surveillance state.
Mm-hmm.
You can, like, if criminals knew the law, they would not go over $1,000 each visit. But now they've got like proof on the company's records that this person has tallied over 1,000, and there you go, Mr. Policeman, do your job. And I guess it's up to the police to actively or inactively
when it's
enforce
grand
that.
theft. When it becomes grand theft, it changes. It just the charges change to a higher level charge. So the charge changes to a higher level or to a more. They're gonna you're gonna go to jail for a year, like basically. So they just do it like that. That's what I've been seeing them do. So I think they're gonna work towards that. So this way. They'll steal about $1,000 worth, and then they go to jail for a year or 2 years. Then this way, the store gets its value, I guess, from it. Instead of having to report them every 10 days for shoplifting, they just kind of add it up, right?
Yep. Yeah, and that's a efficient way of doing things if like the police actively enforce that, because you don't have to put your store personnel at risk. You've got evidence to present to the in the court on why they should be charged.
Yeah, makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
So
you were telling me about go.
No, I was gonna say, are you gonna call? You're gonna call in a few weeks to our prediction show, right?
Oh, of course I am. Yeah, if it's 6 minutes. You're on Monday night. You're doing this on Monday night now. It's a bit harder for me to.
Well, there's nothing else on a Monday night, right? So.
Yeah, no, it's a good idea.
And it's Tuesday afternoon.
No, it's a very good idea. Tuesday morning.
It's Tuesday morning.
Tuesday morning. I'm on the West Coast, so if we get up a little bit later than Anarchy and others on Sydney and Melbourne. So yeah, it's just that I work like every day, Monday to Friday, so it's a bit harder to get calls away. I'm at home today, but I'm been able to get a work from home today because I've put my car into service.
Okay.
So I'm able to spend more time calling through. Yeah. I'd just like to say about the whole in Western society, our native populations, they're not like basically breeding anymore as well. And
that's what I'm talking about. The Australian proper, the Canadian proper, they're not having kids anymore, but then they replace us with all these third worlders. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And that's what, again, Portugal's putting in initiatives to saying, let's have more kids, and there's going to be more available for Portuguese proper to have kids and, continue the language, continue the culture, and continue our way of life. And they're deporting everyone else there, and when I was there, they were just rounding up people and deporting them.
Yep, good stuff. As the Portuguese should be for the Portuguese. Portugal should be for the Portuguese.
Thank you very much. And Australia should be for the Australian proper. Not me, you, and a bunch of guys are going to go build a bank, and then our kids can't work in the bank because a Chinaman's going to come in and work in the bank. What that's fucking retarded.
Yeah. It is, and basically we are killing ourselves at work just to like put a home over our heads. And guess who's profiting from that? That's the bank. The banks are like the Australian banks here, making massive amount of money, profits out of the interest payments people are paying for their home. I remember Tommy from Sydney was on the show.
Yes.
A while back and everything, and he was spooking the Australian Citizens Party, and like it's probably not as an extreme party as some of the other like minor political parties out there, but like the Australian Citizens Party said, like then they're probably for something like net zero migration, so people in equal people out of Australia. But their big target is the banks here, on how they have such leverage over the politicians. And like land developers, there are very few winners who make lots of profit here from high real estate costs, and there are a lot of losers. And the political system, if it was working properly, should be representing the masses, not the few. But it's not working properly.
Mm-hmm. Well, again, they're not using. You know when it works properly? I'll tell you when it works properly.
Mm-hmm.
When incomes and wages are tied to real estate prices. You no longer need foreigners to come in and prop up your housing market because you're using the jobs and the incomes. And then if you take the average wage earner in Australia, medium wage earner, that's what the housing price should be, 4 years the annual income. That's what a house should be, period. And if you want a mansion or a bigger house, you pay $1 million for it. You're not paying, you guys are paying, like we are here, $1 million for a piece of shit.
Yeah. I think it's 15 years of our life just working for a piece of shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you put it into like average house versus average Australian wage.
Mm-hmm.
It varies from city to city. Yeah. I've just noticed something as well. It's just going back to the kids things now. A little bit about myself. I graduated from the University of Western Australia, and I actually, I guess before Trump was doing the rounds in 2016, I was a bit asleep at the wheel when it was coming to like the running of the country and everything, and hardly had any interest in left wing or right wing. I did kind of know that something was like deeply wrong in society, but didn't have any means to fix it. Trump like awakened me, like he awakened a lot of people. It's like, guys, this is it. We're going and we're going to win the 2016 election, and it's all going to be. I'm going to do right by us Americans, and if you do right by Americans, you do the right by the West. And unfortunately, that didn't happen. But it was my awakening. Anyway, at university, I hung out with a multicultural group of people. So engineering, there's smart Chinese people, smart Sri Lankan people, and probably half of us were Westerners. So I've got a social group of 20 people who I've kept with during university. I think this is a group built around the engineering at the University of Western Australia, the most prestigious or so-called prestigious university now in the west side of this country. So these people, I think 17% of them were like left wing, and out of those people, I think there was only like 2 which were keen on having kids.
Wow.
It's myself and like 3 who were like blatantly like right wing, and like what I've noticed is that the people who are right wing, they are now rethinking about having kids. My perspective is that right wing people should have more babies than left wing people, because left wing's gone to the wokeness and everything else, and you're harming the environment if you have babies.
Yeah. Well, left wing don't, because they're very. Earth is too populated. There's too many of us. We're useless eaters. That's what the left wing believes, right? So I don't believe there's 400 million people in China, man. I'm willing to bet whatever you want on that. I don't believe there's a billion people in India. No effing way. No way. No way. No way. Yeah. Nope. Major cities outside, nothing. Fly from one end of India to the other. All you see is farms in vacant land everywhere. Same thing in China.
Yep.
I don't believe in any of this shit. So they just want to replace us. Instead of promoting us to have kids and expand and continue the Canadian culture or the Australian culture, they're not. They're just replacing us with third worlders, right? Somebody just commented right now saying even Japan has 8 million vacant homes to give away. Where do the people go to, right?
Yeah. Japan at least guards its borders pretty well. So they don't. It's hard to get immigrants it's hard to get like permanent residency over there as well. And Japan is like the manifestation of the property, and Japan is like, unlike China, you can film freely there, and I guess it's also got that kind of wow factor. Japan likes to remain Japan because it's inbred in that culture. So unfortunately they didn't have kids, but at least there's people there to document that the houses are there vacant because the people have unfortunately passed on.
Mm-hmm. It just doesn't make any sense because you get a million people standing side by side, arm's length from each other, arm's length. Everyone opens their arms. You're going for miles and miles and miles and miles and miles of people. You're driving by miles and miles. There's no way. I just don't believe it. Now they're saying there's 8 billion people. I don't believe it. And who said there's 8 billion people in the world? Bill Gates. The same guy that told you to take the vaccine.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So how the fuck can you believe any of these people?
Yeah, you can't. It's the path of least resistance to to do that as well. I mean, with science, it becomes hypothesis, then you test the hypothesis. I should go and try and make a map to say, hey, this is Perth. This is how many people who I project would be living in Perth according to their the zoning statuses and everything, assuming maybe 95% occupancy rate. And then there's other things like we've got a duopoly on the supermarkets here with like Coles and Woolworths. Mm-hmm. I could look up their earnings report for the year and then extrapolate it across because it's all done in Australian dollars. This is how much money or currency it requires for one person to live off a week. This is Coles and Woolworths revenue for the year. So it shouldn't be that difficult.
No.
So I don't have to go through many...
Especially with 2 wage earners. Back in the day, you had 1 wage earner and the husband worked and took care of everything and bought a cottage and bought 2 cars through their life and sent their kids through school and take their kids to soccer. And they still made it through. And they did well. Now you got 2 wage earners working 4 jobs now, 2 jobs apiece, and they still can't make ends meet. It's all designed for us to fail. Guys, I want to put up our email. Here's our email here, Mike Martins 1988. If you guys want it, 1988@gmail.com. If you want to join our email list so you don't miss an episode of Mike in the Night, just email me here, Mike Martins 1988@gmail.com. And I will send you out an email when we do go live. This way you don't miss a show, okay, guys? And this email is mine personally. It just comes to me, right? So, anyways, we got Aussie James in the house from Western Australia here. And we got a gentleman, Real Life Finance needs to come back on the show. He's saying in the chat, U.S. population's under 100 million. They count people in second and third places. Third place, housing cities, not jobs, etc. So, I mean...
Dead people as well for the Democrats.
Yeah, I don't... Yeah, and they count people that have been dead for 50, 100 years that are voting Democrat too. But... Yeah, I don't know. I just got this thing on me. I'm gonna go research more. I'm gonna go through my history books, published 100, 200, 300 years ago, and go through them. And I really want to go through population because every history book I pick up that was published in the 16, 17, 18, 1900s, they all have they're all keen on telling you what the population is all the time. They're like, that's like a thing you need to know. And that's like been programmed for centuries. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I tell you what, if you're able to debunk this whole population thing, then that would at least kick some of the momentum out of competition for housing, as people go and buy their shelter with the assumption that A, there will always be someone there to buy it off them, and B, you're competing against everyone else. And if they suspect the competition isn't as much, maybe they wouldn't be so eager to do that. There would be less people investing. It's just a big shell game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, you know what? I think I'm gonna start going a little bit deeper with this because it just doesn't add up. It's okay. I could see we could have 8 billion people on Earth if nobody died in the last 400 years. I could see that. If people live to 400 or 500 years old, I could see us at 7 billion, 8 billion people. No problem. We just don't have it. 1 billion people, arm's length. I don't know how many miles that would be, but that would be it would probably go around the world. 10 million people will probably go around the world arm's length. Like, no, I don't believe it. I'm sorry. I'm just going to keep bringing this up in this call, but there's just so much lies that they're trying to shove down our throat.
Yeah. I think the diameter of the world is 20,000 kilometers, and the average arm span would be like 1.5 meters. So that's easily around the world multiple times if there are 8 billion people. But yeah. It's hard to say if you strip like I've been at the largest rally in Perth, and you know what? I don't think that with about 70,000, 80,000 people in attendance, I don't think like standing hand to hand we could like stretch up to say 200 kilometers, or no, even up to Yanchep, so 50 kilometers. So, and that was a minor part of like Perth's population, but it all is a sense of scale.
Yeah, so someone's saying they're not lies, they're only theories like evolution. Exactly. Like evolution, like we came from a rock somewhere in some stupid soup somewhere, and we evolved. But here's the thing, and scientists are waking up to this now. You can't evolve consciousness and awareness. Yeah. Consciousness and awareness don't not evolve. So how the hell?
Yeah.
It's all bullshit. It's all garbage. And yeah.
Yeah, I remember when I was awakening as well. I was listening to like videos by Sargon of Akkad and everything, and he was, or some other YouTube creators at the time, and then he was saying that like Nigel Dawkins, who were one of the 4 horsemen of the atheist apocalypse on Christianity, he actually started to like admit that he seemed to be an intelligent guy to admit that there must have been some creator anywhere. His atheist belief system didn't say that it was God, but
he did. He'll never say it's God, but it's God. It's God, the grand creator. It's everything. Yeah. Consciousness versus awareness. That's everything I'm saying. I've been saying like only, and then I keep going into our 41% of us occupy a soul on earth. The rest are just soulless vassals that are running around. And like, how is that possible? Well, you're either born with consciousness and awareness. I've told you this a million times, but I'll say it again. You're either born with consciousness and awareness. Consciousness is your soul. Awareness is I'm going to work. I'm waking up. I'm doing push-ups. I'm going to go eat. That's your awareness. There's a lot of people on earth that are only born with only awareness. And they go through their ABC every day. Yeah. But then there's people with the consciousness, which is our soul, that was infused in us the second we were born. The second we were not born from, the second we were infused in the womb. So that's my belief. I know it sounds really far-fetched, but I believe this is the first time since the time of Noah where there's more unsouled people on earth than there are souled people. And the people that are souled, that have that feeling in them, and they feel bad about people, and they feel bad about this, and they're trying so hard to make the world a better place, they're losing to the soulless people. They're losing to the people that are only about the money. They don't care about nobody else. They don't care who they kill or hurt to get that money, because when they die, their eyes close, and nothing continues for them. It's over. There's no soul leaving the body. They're dead. That's it. And those are NPCs or interferers. That's what I call them. And we're facing these people every day, every single day.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. 100%. I mean, it's people who don't like question the authority. If you've got no moral compass, then why would you question authority?
Right.
Of like the workplace, to say, hey, I am probably doing something which violates my moral compass, therefore I will not do it, or I'll start putting up my defenses to prevent me doing this when boss comes knocking, and then you have a good argument with the boss there as well. And like it's just people. I feel it too, Mark, as well. It's just that these NPCs, they're just all about them. I've got to like make enough money, and it's like screw anyone else in the workplace because I'm making life more convenient for myself instead of like
you should test them. If you know who these people are at work or people you're around, start testing with them without them knowing. Like try to enter a room quietly when they're in the room, and try and see if they catch your attention, if they notice that you're in the room and then turn around and look over. Because you know what? If you're soulless, you can't detect souls. You can't detect, when you walk in a room and a cat sees you and it takes off, because it could sense you.
Yep.
It could sense your soul from 10 miles away. But you walk in a room and a soulless person sitting there, you could be dancing behind them, doing all kinds of stuff, and you won't even notice their existence. They won't even notice your existence around them. That's what I mean about a consciousness.
Yeah.
And if you are blindfolded in a dark room and you are facing the wall and you can't hear anything with earbuds, your soul, you could amplify your soul in a way where you could hear somebody walk in, and you'll turn around and point, and they'll be right there, standing right behind you, because you could feel their presence. It's like when you go to a funeral. You see the empty coffin, you see your Uncle Joe, and you're like, well, Uncle Joe seems different. Why? Because his soul left. It's an empty vessel. It's dead. Right? So.
Yep. Just, it's that feeling, when like you're being watched. You can't, the person behind you has been silent and everything, but you get that uneasy feeling that there's someone else here. Well, there's no.
So
you pick up nothing from sight or sound.
Yep, it's a soul detection. So Real Life Finance is saying you're spot on, Mike. As many dying as being born in the last 20 years, population peaked at 3 billion max. And then someone's saying, you're going to find out when people start signing up for digital ID. Yeah, when people start signing up for digital ID, that's PDS10 is saying when people start signing up for digital ID, you'll start to notice how many people really are on the world. Stephen Todd saying there are about 10 abandoned homes within 15 minutes of walking from my home in south of Tokyo. Yeah. So
you there? I might have just fallen off the
it's okay,
line.
we got you.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Boy Mike, so Tupac is saying, Boy Mike was right all about those post-COVID influencers. Now it's time for them to be self-critical and take a chance. They're just cheerleading for the status quo.
Yeah, I think those people would be like the NPCs, which we mentioned. They're just in it for themselves, in it for the money. They're going to either, they may be very well like presenting, which would appeal to the masses, but they're in it for the money. They might be saying the right things now, but when the next crisis happens, they will swing a particular direction.
Well, a lot of them are, with U.S. aid, they were giving topics in they were given like folders with subfolders and emails. And Buddy was telling me how it worked. He was receiving U.S. aid, and he went from doing camping videos to Donald Trump's a racist videos, like overnight. And he was explaining to me that they would get categories and they could follow subcategories and then stick to those topics and continue. So they get an email once a week to follow specific categories and topics and kind of merge with them. And then they would be promoted, and they were sent gift cards, and they were sent money, and then their channel was promoted through AdSense and things like that.
Yep. The algorithm promoted them, and then they because there's a lot of
USAID
other
was paying you
influencers saying the same thing
promote
at the
them.
same time. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah,
it's a sad world that it's come to pass like this, and I hope that like Donald Trump's flash out of USAID would at least clear some of the airspace in front of you, so you can gain more organic traction.
You know, I haven't gained a single follower on YouTube in 3 weeks now.
Oh. No way.
Yeah, I'm at 94 or 95 or 93 or 92,000 followers. I haven't gained a single follower now in 3 weeks. So,
yeah.
Yeah. It's they blocked me. They put me back on shadow ban again. But what can I do? It's just it is what it is. What can I do?
Yeah, that really sucks. I'll send the replay of the video to Perth Freedom Fighters and tell them that I'm on there. Maybe you'll gain some more people because of that. So just a Telegram channel. Oh, actually, one thing which is happening here in Australia is the social media ban is about to kick into effect.
When?
10th of December, I believe.
So social
There's
media, like
gonna
you can't go on social media in Australia?
Okay, it's probably one of those things which will play as it comes out. We'll see what happens. Apparently, I will be able to like still watch your YouTube channel.
Okay.
But I can't log in unless I verify my ID. So all the algorithm data is going to be stored. So like, there's no hope in hell that Martin's reaches through the algorithm to a profile which hasn't been built up with a YouTube profile which hasn't been built up with likes or who they're following and everything. So like all the right-wing channels here in Australia, I theorize which broadcast here in Australia, and especially the ones to do with just Australian issues, they're going to lose a whole heap of followers because the right-wing people, they're going to be more resistant against creating a digital ID for social media verification. So they won't be able to log on to their YouTube or other social media accounts to follow these people. And so they've found another way to kill like right-wing influences here.
Well, can't we use this in our benefit? Where you could get all these guys and we could schedule them, like not really schedule because it's kind of a free-for-all on Mike in the Night. Why don't we get these guys to get their message through Mike in the Night? Because it is the voice of the Commonwealth, right? So if they're banned or they're losing on YouTube or they're losing whatever, or traction, you could get them to call into the show. Just say, hey, Mike, I'm this from this, and I've been very hard on whatever our water problem we're having, or this money laundering problem we're having, or whatever. And just like you come on, and we'll just get 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 more new callers call in on a semi-regular 2 to 3 week schedule basis. They'll come on, give us an update on something or what they're researching or whatever. And it helps me, it helps the show, and it helps get their word out across the Commonwealth instead of just being stuck in Australia, right?
Oh, most definitely, yeah.
So reach out to your guys and let them know, hey, like this guy, like I have people from UK watch the show on replay because it's like 3 a.m. there. So I got the whole Europe and UK rewatch. We got the United States. We got replays of the show all over the place. And people are uploading the show on other platforms and stuff. So the show does get circulated. And mikeinthenight.org is getting a lot of hits because I have the IP for it. I own the domain for it. So I'm seeing mikeinthenight.org. And it's getting tens of thousands of hits every month of people watching replays of old episodes of Mike in the Night because they can't get enough.
Yep.
So
that's because it's quality material. I've actually for this moment, I've actually have saved a lot of downloaded and saved a lot of your work as well out of the very few people who content creators who I do choose to download because it's worth it. And
if you don't mind,
are the only person we can call in. Yep.
If you don't mind, maybe talking to some of the other influencers you like to watch too, just to say, hey, this guy's been, maybe check out this guy, maybe come on his show. Check him out, It's not that hard. You have an Instagram? Yeah, I post on it. Okay, well, just add him and just come on his show. Come and talk about, or maybe, you find a video that you like about it from another content creator a lot and say, man, I really enjoy this. I really want you to come on this guy show. He's been around for 15 years. It's not like he started last week. And he doesn't question you or target you on his show. You just go on and tell what is going on. And he just kind of, asks a few questions just so he understands what you're asking or telling. That's it.
Yep. I can tell my friends, right-wing friends who are there in the anti-lockdown rallies with me to ring in, and I think I might have a line to a guy called Max Freedom on Telegram. He does a lot of visual work of the right-wing resistance, if that's a word to say it, here in Perth, Western Australia. I'll pass you I'll pass your show details on to them.
Just tell them, hey, look, this guy's been at it for too long. He's getting old. He needs someone to help carry the cross. This is what he does. This is the blah, blah, blah. Tell him to go to mikeandthenight.org, click on any episode they want to look at, and just say, look, this guy, he deserves a little, just make it sound like, I don't know, like I'm worth their time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm worth the time.
No, your show is definitely unique, as everyone gets to come on and express their point of view, what's happening in their corner of the world. You can't. I've scoured the internet. To my knowledge, there's no show like yours.
Yes, I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Aussie James on Mike of the Night.
And I do spend a lot of time on the internet in one way or another. It's always it's like just what happens on BitChute and Rumble. It just seems to be this. You've got the same content creators like Russell Brand or STG Report, and they very rarely interview other people. But you have to have like social clout or something. You need to be part of some like gold and silver investment company to be like a guest on their channel. Mm-hmm. They don't talk with the grassroots, like what's down on what's happening in the field.
Yep.
Like you do.
They can't because they'll be called out. The second you start bringing in the Chinese money laundering, how many influencers? Well, there's some talking about it now, but how many have been talking about it as long as I have? And the fentanyl and the corruption and all this stuff. There's stuff I've been talking about, and the vaccines and all this stuff for years and years before COVID. We're talking about vaccines and the destruction and how the Obamas didn't vaccinate their own kids and how that little thing I talk about, that 2013 video I made. If you remember in the 1980s being in a high school assembly at the gymnasium, you didn't find one single kid on the spectrum, not even one.
No.
In a whole school.
No one has, yeah. No one has been has been going at it as consistently on a weekly basis like you have.
So,
yeah. Anyhow, unfortunately, it's a work day today. I've got to get back to it
go
before
do your
people
thing.
start
go
asking
do your
where
thing,
I am.
Ozzy James.
Yeah.
Thanks for the coffee you bought me, and I really appreciate you calling in and giving us your time and updating us and winding down the show because we're coming to the end. So God bless, and we'll get you on in 2 weeks when we do our 2026 predictions. Okay.
Yep, that sounds really good, and I'll prepare for that as well. So yeah, it's great talking with you, Mike.
God bless you.
Yeah, God bless you too and your family.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Amen.
All right, that was Aussie James. Someone says that's up by Okeechobee Sticks. Stop that. So someone again is accusing me of lying, saying I said Fort Lauderdale. All right, let's go to Lake Point in Fort Lauderdale. There's the condos there for sale under $40,000 at Lake Point, and all right, let's do this again. Let's go to the Fort Lauderdale. All right, let's zoom in. Sorry, I got Hollywood, Miami. There we go, Fort Lauderdale. All right, so that should be Lauderdale Lakes, Lauderdale Beach. All right, let's get Fort Lauderdale here. Oops, I'm going too far out. All right. Yeah. All right, so we got Pompano. So Pompano's 2. So again, within that area of the Fort Lauderdale and in Fort Lauderdale area, we got, here we go, guys. I'm not lying to you guys. I'm not making this stuff up. The place I lived in Lake Point, the unit I lived in Lake Point is for sale for $35,000, and it was a nice 2-bedroom, 2-bath unit. And there's just, the condo market's crashing there in the United States right now. This is 40-50 grand area here. Zone I'm in here, and you can't buy any of this kind of stuff here in Canada for that much money. I don't care where you go in Canada. You won't be able to buy any of that stuff there. Not even close. I was in the Spectrum. So yeah, thanks Aussie Cheems for calling in. Someone says I was in the spectrum in the 90s. But in the 80s, I'm talking about the 80s. No way. Nobody had it because they weren't enforcing vaccines back 70s and 80s. I think I have a vaccine card. I think I took my birth vaccine and that's it. I don't think I took a vaccine at birth. Yeah. What I'm showing you guys in the States, the price of housing there too, is that that's every Canadian's dream is what I showed you there. Every Australian's dream was what I just showed you there. Something to get started. Start a family. But we don't have that option. So Mayo King is in the house saying you could buy a condo for $30K, but the $22,000 a month of homeowners fee. Go back to the show and look at the $5,000 one, Mike. It's $1,600 HOA fee. So I'm paying $4,700 plus $1,200 for garbage pickup. That's just property tax. Just for a house in 2 stoplight town. Yeah, but I'm talking about owning freehold property too. Never mind condos. You could buy land, freehold property. You could buy freehold homes there for very inexpensive, right? '70s. I mean, in the '70s, I never knew any one autistic kid either, Mike. That's right, Jack Frost. I'm not making this stuff up, guys. I'm not here to lie to you. I'm not getting paid to lie to you, okay? Let's put it that way. All right, guys, let's look at our coffees. I got one coffee from Sandy. Thank you, Sandy. Sandy D, for the one coffee I got in tonight's show. Appreciate you guys coming out for Mike of the Night. See you guys next Monday. And yeah, Mike Martin's here signing off for episode 626 of Mike of the Night. Take care. And if you can't take care, stay safe. I have spoken.